All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Market Close. Folks, today has been an absolutely incredible day across the equity markets. We have Coreweave earnings coming up, which is going to be a very, very, very important company in regards to the overall AI CapEx trade and data centers. So we'll be taking a look at that. We also have Cava and Rigetti, and we'll see what happens there. Lots of headlines flowing throughout the entire morning, but we are 15 minutes away from the S&P 500 closing at all-time highs. 642, up 1% on the day. We're 3 days away from getting into the middle of August. August 1st, we were down 2% on the S&P. We have more than recovered that down 2%. Rick Reeder from BlackRock today said this is the best environment for investors to have an opportunity to invest in a very long time. And one of the main reasons is because of AI. I mean, it is becoming very real. The earnings are becoming very real. And as a result, we are seeing a lot of momentum across the board. So today's going to be really important after hours in terms of seeing what Coreweave can put up. We also have Cava and Rigetti. So we'll see what happens to them. Coreweave stock right here, I think it's kind of flat on the day. Well, no, never mind. It's up. It was flat in the morning. It's up 5.2% right here. Expectations are for them to lose about 40 cents of revenue and then do about 1.03 billion in revenue, or lose 40 cents a share and then make about 1.3 billion in revenue. 1.08. So lose 49 cents a share, 1.08. If they can beat these numbers, and I don't know, let's do the poll right here in the chat. What do you think? Which one outperforms, Cava, Coreweave, Rigetti, or do all three of them dump? I kind of think with all the momentum we've seen with AI, the momentum we saw on Nebius's earnings as well, which absolutely crushed it. Nebius right here, 74, 77. That's up 7% on the day. Kind of feel like Coreweave crushes it. I kind of feel like Coreweave crushes it. And if they do, that can be very exciting. BMNR, Tom Lee announced this morning he is going to raise 20 billion with a B to buy Ethereum. BMNR right here is up 6.38% of the day. So all the Ethereum treasuries are getting some momentum. Also, Ethereum 2 hours ago hit 4,500. We are still at 4,500, just a little bit above 4,508 for the first time since December of 2021. So you are really starting to see a breakout on Ethereum, which is very, very, very exciting. And then on top of that, in the morning, you guys were here early with me. CPI came in at 2.7 versus 2.8%. That is the real reason I think we're getting the momentum that we are getting. It would be very hard to see this type of a rally, which is not being led by NVIDIA, by the way. This is why I think today is ultra bullish. NVIDIA is up 40 cents on the day. NVIDIA is 8% of the S&P 500, barely contributing to the momentum of the S&P 500 today, which is up 1%. But CPI came in at 2.7 versus 2.8. One of the best performing sectors of the day are financials. Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs. Bank of America is up 3%. I mean, Goldman Sachs is up 3.5% after Trump tweeted that the CEO should go back to being a DJ because he understands nothing about economics. And that still wasn't enough to take Goldman Sachs down. So what does that mean for investors? It means that we are seeing a broadening out of this rally. And quite frankly, I would be very happy over the coming weeks, even if NVIDIA didn't pump to 200. If it went to 200, I would also be really happy. But if it didn't, and you had other parts of the market, the S&P 493 start to participate, I don't think that's a bad thing for anybody. And that really starts to show some health and momentum and strength in this economy. One of the names that is participating today, however, is Meta at 790. So Meta getting some very nice momentum. There you go. Brandon says, glad I listened to your Tom Lee interview. He convinced me to buy 5 ETH that day, and I have a 75% return in a month. I mean, when we did our interview, I think Ethereum was at like 3,200 roundabout. BMNR had just launched. BMNR was at $40, so Ethereum has done a little bit better than BMNR. But still, even with all the dilution, and now they have almost 5 billion of Ethereum on their balance sheet, and they want to buy 20 billion more. It's just hard to be bearish Ethereum right here. It's really hard to be bearish Ethereum, and I think that's why it's getting some momentum. SOFI, great day, up 5.27%. Not bad. Grabby grab. I'm telling you guys, I can't prove it. I cannot prove it, but I really think it's being manipulated. You're telling me it can't get 1 cent to get to $5? I really think the market makers are selling $5 and $5.50 covered calls for the next month, the next 2 months. The short float is now 7%. It's up 20 million shares, and I think they're keeping this one lower. But everything I'm seeing from the 13Fs and 13Gs, and we're going to get a lot more of them, including Howard Marks, to see if he doubled down on Grab or if he sold his Grab, probably in the next 48 hours. Warren Buffett's secret stock will be revealed in the next 48 hours as well. We're going to get to see how much the institutions are buying, and so far it's still 82% of the float. So the fact that they're not giving us that extra cent, like it literally hasn't touched $5 all day, to me, this is kind of obvious that it's being manipulated, and that's okay. I bought more Grab today. I bought another 500 shares today. So it is what it is. This is accumulation phase, and that is what I'm doing. But there are a lot of other names that are moving very nicely. Google right here, 203, 2 days in a row of holding above 200, which is very nice. Salesforce, nasty bleed today, a little bit of recovery from 227. That's a now 231. PayPal right here, 67.99. That's up a little bit. SMCI, 46.54. That's a green. And then Bitcoin just below 120. But you do have 119 on Bitcoin. Robinhood cannot break back over 117, but 114, not too bad either. Duolingo, just been an ugly stock for the past couple of weeks, really since earnings, and earnings was really good. This thing's still down 5% of the day. I don't know, dude. I feel like there's a deeper narrative issue with Duolingo, but this one is getting hit. Archer, they had earnings yesterday. That sucked. Wow. I didn't look at this for the past couple hours. I actually went to the dentist an hour ago and I got a cleaning. And she was like, so what do you do? I was like, oh, I talk about the stock market. She's like, where? I was like, oh, I have a YouTube channel. She's like, what? You have a YouTube channel? And so she took my number and now she wants to like subscribe to the YouTube channel. So you know what the experience showed me? Everyone wants to learn about investing. Everyone. She's like, I've been trying to learn about investing for so long, but I've never had the chance. And, you know, now like I have your number. I want to connect with you and all this stuff. And like people are so eager to allocate capital because, you know, people want their money to compound over time. And to me, it just means there's more liquidity in the broader markets. And she would be a retail investor if she did really realistically start investing, just like all of us. And in this type of market with the type of opportunities that exist, the only thing I told her, I was like, hey, this is one of the greatest times to invest ever, given the advance of AI. And so she's excited. She's excited. Dude, she's an older woman, bro. Goodness gracious, she's married. You guys, this, how, we are so unhinged. My goodness, bro. We... For you think investors like suit and tie in the chat? No, it's just a bunch of unhinged. That's where your mind went immediately. Really? That's where your mind. Goodness gracious. Age is but a number. You guys are insane. I was not rizzing up the dentist. I didn't even want to tell her what I did, but she kept asking. So I just like, because then you have to go into explaining all of it. And then I went on for 5 minutes and you know me, I can start yapping and like crazy. So I started explaining it. And so yeah, it looks like we're going to get another person to be an investor. But the point is more people want to invest. And that is the exciting part about this market. Google right here, 203, SoFi, 2361, AMD, 174.63. 43% of you said Coreweave is going to go green. 9% say Rigetti. 35% of you say all of them dump. Interesting. 35% of you say all of them dump. And then Cava, 12% of you. Let me know which one of these you guys own, Cava, Coreweave, or Rigetti. S&P 642.50. Wow, up 1.03%. We got 7 minutes to see if we can close above 640 on the S&P. You guys are ridiculous, bro. You guys are actually, she doesn't have a daughter. She has no kids. So you guys are just crazy, bro. But I love it because this is why it's the best chat on YouTube. This is why it's the absolute best chat on YouTube. Goodness gracious. But the point is, I don't know, maybe she's in her early 40s or something, but she wants to invest just like everybody. Everyone wants to make more money and everyone wants to find opportunities to put their money to work. And so I think and you know, some people say, oh, well, that means too many people are getting excited. I'm like, no, dude, people are getting excited for a reason because there is an affordability crisis going on in this country. The cost of living is not keeping up with the cost of the wages are not keeping up with the cost of living. And people know that compounding their income is one of the best ways to at least have a chance at a better life from a financial perspective. And so more people are interested, and that's why there is more liquidity in the market from retail investors. Amazon, by the way, 221. Coreweave now up 5%. ARM's up 1%. SoundHound, that was up 2%. That's kind of flat on the day. Astera, talk about a great day in the AI data center space. That one's up 7%, and Arista's up 2.45. So you got ALAB and Arista getting some momentum. Rigetti, is that one green? Rigetti is up 1.3. 1.3. Amit's about to be a side piece. You guys are actually like, this is, the unhinged nature of this chat is amazing, but it's also incredible. Because like we're all investors, but we're investors that are unhinged. That's exactly, we're investors that are unhinged. Ethereum, 45.10. High of days on Ethereum. Actually, we got to 45.19 at one point. 45.10 right here on Ethereum. The bullish IPO is tomorrow. And yes, Grab is stuck at $4.99 because it really feels like the market makers are not letting this thing get above $5. And that's okay. Because at this point, they're becoming so obvious with the manipulation. I can't prove it's manipulation. It just very much feels like it. but I'm buying. I'm acquiring with the toots, and I think eventually we get a good earnings, and this one can make a move up. S&P 642.63. We got about 4 minutes. We're going to see how this plays out. And then you got BMNR as well on the day right here, 62.16. Now, a couple of headlines until we get into earnings. We got about 4 minutes, and then we're going to see what we have. Steve wants a dog. Amit got a cougar. You guys are actually crazy. Like legitimately crazy. Okay, couple of headlines. The head of the BLS, the new head of the BLS is considering pausing monthly job data or monthly job reports until the new data calculation method comes out. The White House responded today by saying, it is our hope that we continue getting monthly job reports, but we cannot confirm it. I think it would be quite interesting if we didn't actually get monthly job data because of the new BLS commissioner saying we need some time to have a better data calculation method. I don't know if it would be the best thing in the world. Again, the White House said they do want to get more of that data, but ultimately we're going to see what the BLS commissioner decides to do. Now, take a look at this chart. This goes to the Coreweave argument. Data center energy demand will grow from 5% of total U.S. power demand today to more than 10% in 2030. This whole energy argument around data centers, which Coreweave is uniquely intertwined with, they're not an energy play, but they're obviously very intertwined with data centers. This is massive. This percentage is now estimated to more than double over the next 5 years. Again, that means the opportunities, whether it's a Nebius, a Coreweave, a CEG, an NVIDIA, an AMD, et cetera, they are massive. They are big. And that's basically what BlackRock's Rick Reeder was saying today, which is that there are so many ways for people to get momentum in this market and so many opportunities and so many different ways for people to invest in this market that you're going to start to see a lot more people get excited about the potential of these different opportunities. Threads, Meta. This was a big headline today. We saw Elon and Sam going at it back and forth. Zuck says, hey, Threads has 700 million monthly active users. Sorry, not 700, 400 million monthly active users, 700 weekly monthly, or 700 weekly actives. 700 million weekly actives is OpenAI. Look, I don't use Threads. I don't know if any of you guys use Threads. Let me know in the chat. But they did say 400 million monthly actives. The real argument on monthly actives will be determined through revenue, because ultimately advertisers, which they've started to monetize on Threads, will need to see a return on their ad spend. And if AI can be a tailwind for Threads, which is just a copycat of Twitter, but hopefully the AI advertising becomes more productive. I mean, that's another bullish argument for Meta, dude. They're already making $45 billion every quarter off Instagram and Facebook ads and a little bit of WhatsApp. If Threads is a winner, which we don't know if it's going to be yet, but Zucks is pretty confident about it. Threads is their copycat of X, for those that don't know. They're copycat of Twitter. It's a text messaging app. The reason it's number 2 on the App Store behind ChatGPT is because on Instagram or Facebook, they just like put it in your face and force you to download it. And a lot of people have downloaded it, but Zucks is saying 400 million people are using it every single month, which again, whether you like Threads or not, super bullish for Meta. And it just goes to show that these Mag 7 companies have a lot of momentum to be able to continue deepening their moat. Last thing, we got 1 minute until the market closes. One of our representatives in the United States of America bought MicroStrategy. They didn't report that they bought MicroStrategy until 400 days later. The stock is now up 193% since their purchase back in 2024. The fine that one of our representatives got is $200. So that is what we have in this country when it comes to stock trading laws, but it's a good trade. Bought some MSTR. Dude, that guy's face has always confused me. Yes, it's a real picture. It's a real picture. Every time I see them, I'm like, there's a lot of different ways to think of them. But nonetheless, they're a good trader, regardless of who they look like. Someone said they look like Jimmy Neutron. Well, Jimmy Neutron made a good trade on MSTR. All right, folks, here we go. We got Coreweave earnings. It is Tuesday, August 12th, 4 p.m. Thank you, everybody, for being here. The stock market is now closed. All right. We also have Technical Tuesday in 30 minutes. Jason will be here in 30 minutes, and we'll see what we got for Technical Tuesday. The S&P 500, BitMine, closes at 62.19, up 5% on the day. The S&P 500 has closed above 6,400 for the first time in history. We're up 1% on the day, and we did it without NVIDIA going higher or meaningfully higher, which is very bullish for the S&P 493. NVIDIA right here did get a little spike into the close, 183.16. It got to the close. Did we hit 184 today? Oh, wow, we did. I missed it. Dude, we must have hit it for a second, for like a literal millisecond. I did not see 184 at all today. I guess, yeah, 52-week high, 184.48. Did anyone see that today? I completely, that means we hit all-time highs on NVIDIA. We didn't close at all-time highs, but we did hit it today. So not too bad. We got the close right here at 183.16. Again, not a big contributor for this momentum today, but still very nice to see from NVIDIA. Duolingo down 5% on the day. Rigetti, that's up a little bit after hours. UNH also 3.67%. Not too bad on Dual or on United Healthcare. Palantir also great day. It got to 186.97 on the close, got to 188.15 during the day. ASML, that's up 2.84%. You got Dutch Bros right here up 2%. Tempest AI was up 9% on the day. Open Door up 7%. Anthony Pompliano bought Open Door today. So he is now throwing his hat in the ring with Eric Jackson, and he is part of the Open Door community. The Qs, all-time high, 580. We don't get the Buffett reveal until tomorrow. We might get it today, but more likely tomorrow or Thursday. We're going to get all the 13Gs and 13Fs. So hopefully we get to know that soon. Carvana was flat on the day. Applied Digital was up 6.7%. Google at 1.25. That's another day of closing above 200. Robinhood right here, 114.09. Not too bad. Coreweave, again, we don't have the earnings yet. We will get them very soon. That one's flat after hours, but it did get 6.4% on the day, 148.75. Nebius, which had a great earnings, which makes me think Coreweave could have a good earnings as well, 75.33. That's up 72. That's up 7.25% on the day. And then Meta got to 793, closed at 790, but it did get to 793. And that's what we got. Coreweave, I think, should happen at 405. We should get it very soon. It's down about 0.5% after hours. We should see a move pretty quickly, either now or within 3 minutes. And then we have Cava. I know most people are invested in Coreweave here. Cava's up a little bit. And then Rigetti. But Coreweave is the big one that we've got to look at. Coreweave is the big one that we've got to look at. And then Grab got a 3% day. They kept her under 5. They're going to keep playing this game. It is what it is, but it was up about 3.5% on the day. ASTS as well, not a bad day, up 8%. Where did Big Bear AI end? That one ended down 15%. That actually got back to 6. It was at 470 in the morning. 584 after hours, down 2%, but it got close to $6. 597 is what it had on the close. And then Bitmine right here, 62.16. I really missed 184 on NVIDIA. When did it hit 184? What time of the day? It's saying it hit it at 4 p.m. Did it? So it spiked up to 4. Does Robinhood also have 180? Did it? Was that just like a random spike into the close? Because I would have seen an all-time high on NVIDIA today. Robinhood also, yeah, Robinhood also has 184.40. When did we hit 184? At 4 p.m. That's when we hit it. Palantir did Palantir hit 190? Palantir, the 52-week high does not show me 190. It might have spiked up on some brokerages, but I'm seeing 188.15 on the 52-week high for Palantir. Which is great, but that's not 190. 188.15. But NVIDIA, when the heck did it get to 184? That's a big deal, breaking above it. It seems like at 4 p.m. it spiked up there, and then the metrics counted it as a 52-week high. Fidelity showing you 190. Let me see if Robinhood. Weeble's not showing me 190. Let me see if Hood is showing me 190 on Palantir. It was a weird spike. It happened to Palantir too. Okay, so a lot of you guys are seeing it. No, Robinhood showing me 188.15 as well. That is a bit weird. That is a bit weird. Okay, so that's what we got there. Coreweave, all right, you got a little bit of a move after hours. That's down 2.3. Let's see if that red candle continues. Let me see if I can get the numbers, if there are any numbers yet. This is the biggest one today. We don't have numbers on Coreweave yet. I'm seeing a 3% move, but no numbers yet. Ethereum, yes, 4,500 is what we're seeing as well. Circle had a great earnings today. Did they close green? They were up 15%. They closed up 1%. Okay, so it was a great earnings, but people sold the rip. That's the story, at least what it seems like on Circle. Again, Circle is the best performing IPO this year, so it did have a good morning, but towards the end of the day, seems to have sold off. Coreweave right here, down 2%. No numbers yet, so all of these moves might be just pure algos going back and forth, but no actual moves yet. 190 on IBKR. Okay, so a lot of you guys saw this. Huh. Yeah, someone just tagged me on X, 190 on Palantir. I didn't see it on Weeble or Legend, but I guess some of you guys saw it. And then 184 on NVIDIA as well. All right, let's see what we can get from Coreweave. We should be getting these numbers soon. Rigetti, are we down on Rigetti? Rigetti goes down. Rigetti goes down. That is down 5%. Let's see if that continues. That is down. Let me see if I can get the numbers. Rigetti was up 30% last, I think it was 2 weeks ago when they announced some new quantum like computer or quantum breakthrough. And that's when that one got green. Okay, Rigetti missed by 86% on EPS, missed by 4% on revenue. EPS Street wanted negative 0.07 cents. They came in at negative 0.13. Revenue Street wanted 1.87 million. They came in at 1.80 million. EPS is down 80% year over year. Revenue is down 40% year over year. I don't know if this one trades that much on EPS or revenue, but it is down 4% right now. So there you go. That's what you got on Rigetti. The NVIDIA spike is on the weekly 4-hour chart. Yeah, but it happened at 4 p.m., right? It seems like it happened right at the close. And as a result, that's why the brokerages were able to pick up that as a 52-week high. Those are the Rigetti numbers. Don't have Coreweave yet, so all the Coreweave action is probably not real. Who's loaded up on Coreweave? Put in the chat, even if you bought it as like a gamble going into... Oh, Coreweave's going green. They're going green. Here we go. We just touched 150. She's moving. She's moving. That's hot. And that's 2%. There you go. That is green on Coreweave. 154, 2.3. Let's see if that can hold 3.5. You got some green momentum. Let's see. Let's see. Numbers should be out like right now if Coreweave's moving. But we are getting some green. We are getting some green. Some of you guys are swing trading it. 2,100 shares. Okay, Coreweave now. The candle's not really holding on as well as it should. Kind of flat. It's trying to hold on. Still up 1%. It's trying. It almost went negative for a second. It's switching between red and green. I don't have numbers yet. So numbers are out. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Coreweave. Okay, they missed by 22% on EPS. Negative 60 cents versus negative 49 cents. They beat by revenue. They beat on revenue by 12%, 1.2 billion versus 1.08. Revenue's up 207% year over year. EPS is up 63% year over year. Some of you have different numbers. Let me see if I can get the accurate numbers. Some people are saying they beat on EPS. That would make a little bit more sense. Let me see if I can get their exact website here. But I am seeing a miss on EPS. I could be wrong, so let me pull this up. Okay, here we go. They did, let me see on their website. They did, no, they missed on EPS. They missed on EPS. They lost 60 cents a share. They missed it. Whoever's saying they beat on EPS, they did not beat on EPS. Street wanted them to lose 49 cents. They lost 60 cents. As you can see right there. Okay, so they missed EPS, they beat revenue. CEO says, our strong second quarter performance demonstrates continued momentum across every dimension of our business. We are scaling rapidly as we look to meet the unprecedented demand for AI. Our purpose-built AI cloud platform continues to set new benchmarks for performance and scalability, including becoming the first company to offer the complete Blackwell GPU portfolio at scale, making Coreweave the platform of choice for the world's most advanced AI workloads and AI pioneers. Revenue, 1.2 billion. They lost about 290 million. They lost 60 cents a share. Revenue's up 200% year over year. Street can probably overlook that as long as they keep growing. They have a revenue backlog of 30 billion. My goodness. This includes performance obligations plus subject to the satisfaction of delivery and availability of service requirements. And then they talked about some of their customer wins in the second quarter. Okay, so it's a good earnings. I don't think it's like crazy good. Stock's down 4%. I don't think it deserves to go down like 10%. I don't think it deserves to go up 10%. That's just how some of these earnings have been for these companies. This one's now down 1.5, basically flat. Yeah, it's not a Nebius quarter. Nebius's quarter was a bit more aggressive. Now, Nebius is also a much smaller company. Nebius is 20 billion. Coreweave is 70 billion. But still, Nebius going red after hours. Is NVIDIA going red after hours? NVIDIA is flat after hours. Palantir's up a little bit after hours. Cava's, wow, down 13%. Okay, looks like people are not eating Mediterranean food. as much as the street thought they would. There you go. Got a 14% hit on Cava. Let me see if I can get those earnings. But Cava is red. I still haven't tried Cava, dude. There's one next to me, but I haven't tried it. All right, Cava beat by 23% on EPS, 16 versus 13 cents. Revenue 280 versus 285. That's a miss by 2%. EPS is down 6% year over year. Revenue is up 20% year over year. Not horrible growth, but that stock is now down 17%. Coreweave is up 1%. Yeah, the market doesn't like it. The market doesn't like it. Better than Chipotle? Well, Chipotle also had a nasty earnings. They were down like 14%, but Cava is now down almost 20%. CMG after hours is down a little bit. We'll go to their website and see what the street doesn't like, but it seems like EPS and revenue. I mean, EPS they beat. Revenue they missed by 2%. I don't think the street should be that upset about that. That doesn't seem like something to take them down 20% on, but there might be something deeper here. Bessent just said the Fed should think about a 50 basis point cut in interest rates in September. The Fed could have cut in June if given accurate data. Dude, if we get freaking 50 in June, that is going to be crazy. Cava is still down 17%. I would say we get 25, and we need JPOW to be dovish at Jackson Hole to get that 25. Coreweave still down 3. So Coreweave was trying to recover, but still down 3% based on those earnings. Coreweave, by the way, their short float, I was looking at it this morning, it increased by 25% on July 31st. 7.34% of the float is sold short. 7.34%. So you do have the shorts that were betting on some type of a decline. And they're getting 4% down. It's not crazy, but they are getting 4% down. Cava right here down 17%. That was me. Okay, so I guess we got a bunch of shorts in the chat. I'll give you guys some of the updated short floats that I got this morning. But yeah, Coreweave, you still do have 7% of the thing sold short. We'll go deeper into their numbers and try to see exactly what the CapEx is like, what their depreciation expenses are, because those are the things that matter. But so far, that is red. Let's get an update right here on Cava and Coreweave together and get some coverage on these two names. Here we go. Wait, let me share this real quick. Okay, cool.
Well, meantime, Coreweave earnings are out, and Christina Partsinevelos is back with the numbers. Hi, Christina.
Hello. Corey, revenue beating $1.21 billion, higher than street estimates. This is a company that rents out GPUs and provides infrastructure for AI workloads. They also posted a GAAP loss for the quarter of 60 cents per share, but we're not going to compare to estimates since analysts use non-GAAP numbers. For their revenue backlog in the earnings release, they're saying it's at about $30 billion, which was clutch. It's up 2x year to date. The release also says there's robust demand across labs, hyperscalers, and enterprises, which we're also seeing their non-GAAP operating margins up at 16%. We rounded that number, so higher than estimates. And as well, the Q2 adjusted EBITDA, which is important because it measures profitability from core operations, that's coming in stronger at $753 million, higher than street estimates. Keep in mind, we will get guidance on the call. Shares, though, were initially up, and now they're coming down about 1%, guys, in extended trading hours. So kind of almost flat.
All right, Christina, thank you. Cava earnings are out. The stock is tanking. Kate Rogers has the numbers. Kate.
Hi, John. So this is a mixed quarter for Cava, and as you can see, the stock down almost 18%. EPS beat 16 cents versus 13 cents estimated. Revenues, though, a miss, $281 million for the quarter versus the $286 million estimated by analysts. Same store sales, likely what's moving the stock here, a big miss. They were up 2.1%, lower than the estimates of up 6.1%. Sales growth this quarter coming primarily from its menu price and product mix, with guest traffic being approximately flat. A reminder, though, for viewers, it was lapping very tough comparisons year on year. Its restaurant profit margin, 26.3% versus estimates of 26%. On guidance as well, the company cutting its full year same store sales forecast from a range of 6% to 8% to a new lower range of between 4% and 6%. It is maintaining, though, its EBITDA and profit margin guidance for the full year, also raising the number of new store openings it's forecasting for the year between 68 and 70 locations now. You can see, again, the stock down 18% on this report, down around 25% year to date. The conference call is at 5, and we will bring you any highlights we get, guys. Back over to you.
All right, Kate, thank you. Well, outside of that, stocks soaring to record highs once again today.
All right, so Cava, Coreweave, if you went short on both of them, it worked out. Cava, disgusting 20% drawdown, and Coreweave 7%. It's taking Nebius down with it. It's taking Nebius down with it. Ethereum is having some fun after hours. Everyone sold their Coreweave and their Cava, and they're buying Ethereum. 45.50, baby. So Ethereum getting some love. Is BMNR getting some green after hours? BMNR is up another 1% after hours. That is green. Coreweave now down almost 10%. I don't know if it deserves a 10% drawdown. They did miss EPS by 20 cents, which is not good, but they're growing like crazy. So now, granted, they IPO'd at what, $30? So they've had a great IPO. They're down from 180. Is it crazy to be down 10%? No. Do I think they deserve it? Probably not. But I don't know if the street's going to give them up 10%. Now, granted, last time this happened on the call, if you guys remember, the CEO turned everything around. This bad boy went up, I think it was like 15% after hours during the call, because the CEO just like talked about all their new contracts they have and all this demand and all this stuff, and people started buying it. So maybe that happens this time. But Coreweave right here down 7%, Cava down 22%. Yeah, and for some context, Coreweave was 103 the other day, so it did get bid up before earnings. So it's a classic case if it just ran up hard. It was at 150 at the close, 148.75. It got to 155 today, and it's getting sold off a little bit after a run up. Rigetti, are we running on Rigetti? They missed on the top and the bottom. That is recovering. It was down almost 10%. There you go. Now barely down after hours. So Rigetti, a lot of that red starting to get some recovery. Is ETH 46? ETH is $12. No, we hit 46. Dude, she's going to 5,000. She's going to 5,000, or at least she wants to go to 5,000. The market cap now of Ethereum is, let me pull this up right here. I believe it's well above 600 billion, or very close to that. Ethereum is, 550 billion. So you're getting close. Bitcoin's 2.3 trillion. Ethereum 554 billion on the market cap. There you go. Not bad. Dude, not bad. Look, ETH has created a brand new investing opportunity back to 4,600 for so many people. Whether it's BMNR, whether it's Coinbase or Robinhood getting momentum, whether it's just the BlackRock ETFs, the Fidelity ETFs that had $1 billion collectively poured into it yesterday. And by the way, a lot of that is institutional investors. Like, a lot of institutional investors can't literally buy Ethereum, so they buy the BlackRock ETF. And so although retail can buy the ETF, you have a lot of institutions that just buy the BlackRock ETF, and that's how they get their exposure. And you kind of don't fade it when the institutions are coming in at the level they're coming in at. And that's why this is very exciting for the broader market. Ethereum right here up 7.5% on the day, 4,600 on Ethereum. Not bad. Not bad at all. Crazy numbers for internet money. That is correct. Crazy numbers for internet money. But the cool thing is, it's not just internet money. It's starting to become a major part of the global financial system. But that's why Visa has just not been able to catch a bid. Visa right here up a little bit on the day. By the way, we did get one new super investor filing today that I'll show you guys. We're waiting for the rest of them. But this is John Armitage, who manages Ergotin Capital. $9.7 billion portfolio. And these are the moves that he made. He sold 20% of his Amazon. This is all Q2. He added 38% to his Microsoft. He sold 5% of his Progressive. He added 99% to his Visa. Added 161% to Capital One, so going heavy in financials. He bought Ferguson Industries. He added 10% to IBKR. He reduced 11% of CME. He reduced 25% of Meta. Reduced 33% of Flutter. Reduced 15% of GE Aerospace. He bought Boston Scientific. He added 10% to MasterCard. Again, heavy on the financials. Bought Seagate Technology. Sold 42% of his Google. And then he bought Builders First Source as well. So those are the updates from his portfolio. A lot of trimming of big tech and adding of financials, which is kind of how the market went today. Big tech was relatively flat. We had some movers today, but financials really carried the torch. And I think a lot of that was based on the rate cut thesis starting to become more evident based on based on CPI today. Rate cuts now 94.4% chance that we are going to see some of these rate cuts. So there you go. Fartcoin was down today. As I said in the morning, it was down about 10% on the day. Rigetti now down 2%. Bitmine's down a little bit after hours. So you got some people taking some profits right there. By the way, that thing that Peter Thiel bought, the new ETH Treasury, ATNF, 206% on the day. Peter Thiel is telling everybody via his purchases, he owns 9% of Bitmine, 7% of ATNF, that he's bullish on Ethereum. And then Founders Fund has their own Ethereum investments as well. Coreweave still down 7% after hours. Nebius now going down with Coreweave. Nebius down 3.3. But you are seeing some momentum there. And again, it's just like either they all are just pumping it up to pump it up, or they genuinely believe Ethereum will be part of the next stage of the financial ecosystem going into this 4 years where we don't have the crypto regulations that have stopped all this innovation. And I think it's the latter. I think they think a lot of developers are going to start to build applications, and it's going to become a much bigger part of the overall system. And that's why we're getting some momentum. Bessent is live. Bessent is live. Let's go to him. Let's see what Mr. Bessent has to say.
So, and again, the president has been most transparent president in history. And I think with Congress's ratings at an all-time low, I think this is a necessary first step. Congress should stop single stock trading. When I had my fund, no one could buy single stocks. You could buy ETFs. You could buy money market funds, and we had a holding period.
Will you let them buy ETFs?
Oh, sure, sure. Above a certain size, above a certain size. But I also think there should be holding periods. I mean, I'm not going to say who it was, but there was a congressman who did more than 1,300 trades 2 years ago. My hedge fund didn't do 1,300 trades in a year.
You're right. He didn't have time to do anything else. Was it you told the Nikkei Asian newspaper that you thought you'd have all the tariffs and trading wrapped up by the end of October?
That's aspirational, but I think we are in a good position. The big trade deals that aren't done aren't agreed. Switzerland's still around. India's been a bit recalcitrant. And then the hard part, Jameson Greer and his team, I forget, I think he's got 200 lawyers or something, are busy papering all this over. So I think we will have agreed on substantial terms with all the substantial countries. And as I've been saying for a long time, the president's doing peace deals, trade deals, tax deals. Tax deal, thanks to your help, one big, beautiful bill.
Well, that's it. You will have achieved, as Treasury Secretary, you had the lead on one big, beautiful bill. I mean, for the president, but you had the lead at staff level. The trading stuff, you'll have the lead on that. You'll be done. And I was just thinking about that. That's a hell of a performance for a Treasury Secretary, and you'll be looking for new challenges, so you'll probably go over and become the chairman of the Fed.
Larry, there are plenty of challenges left at 1500 Pennsylvania. I'm next door to the White House.
I got to laugh at it. I got to smile at it.
Well, you can. But there's so much left to do. And look, the success of all this, success of the trade deals, the success of the tax deal, that's President Trump. President Trump applying maximum leverage, but we're going to be working on affordability. I think there's a lot to do on housing. We're going to be given the student loan portfolio. I think that there is a firm but humane way to work on that. It is the largest single asset of the U.S. government. It's up to $1.7 trillion now. So there's always plenty to do, and the China negotiations will be continuing.
Secretary Scott Bessent, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it very, very much.
Good to see you.
All right, there's Bessent. He also said in the interview that he's going to meet with Chinese officials in the next 2 months. He said, we are solving several variables with China. He said the Fed could have cut in June if they had accurate data. He said we're going to see progress on fentanyl in the next couple months. And he said that the Fed should think about 50 bips on a cut in September, which, again, I think that would be aggressive. I don't know if we get 50 bips. I hope we get 25, but it's not crazy to imagine that we could get that based on how the Fed interprets this data. Coreweave still down 7%. Just didn't really play out on earnings. And Cava, 22% on the day. This one just keeps going lower. This one just keeps going lower. Cava, let's just read what the CEO said on their earnings right here. Again, 20% revenue growth. That is down from 30% last year. So it was a bit more aggressive last year. But Cava CEO says, during the second quarter of 2025, we continue to grow market share and firmly establish our category defining leadership. Second quarter, same restaurant sales grew 2.1%. We opened 16 restaurants during the quarter. During the fluid macroeconomic environment, we grew Cava revenue 20%, and our 2025 new restaurant class is on track to deliver AUV above $3 million. We recently opened our 400th restaurant, marking a meaningful milestone on our path to 1,000 restaurants by 2032, reinforcing the proven portability and underlying strength fueling our continued growth. Same-store sales of 2.1%. I think that's what the street's upset about. Revenue growth is fine. New restaurant openings is fine. But same-store sales, yeah, Chipotle didn't do well, so it makes sense Cava didn't do that well either. That seems to be the biggest issue. And maybe that's a little indicative of the Texas Roadhouse, by the way, didn't have the best earnings either. So yeah, I guess you could kind of point so far that is somewhat of a trend. We're going to get more earnings soon. McDonald's did have a good quarter though. Now granted, McDonald's costs less than some of these companies, but maybe consumers are pulling back on food spend. And it's not the craziest idea in the world if they are doing that, but that could be happening. Him CEO Andrew Dudum, statement came out today from him since everyone was talking about the $30 million worth of stock he sold. They said Andrew Dudum remains the company's largest shareholder and has not sold any of his personally held Hims and Her shares. The reference sales were indirectly associated with Mr. Dudum outside of his personal holdings for tax and philanthropic purposes. Andrew continues to hold his full personal stake and is committed to the company's long-term growth. So Him CEO came out today, or at least the company came out today and said, hey, it's not that big of a deal. He has to sell for tax reasons, and he still owns all of his stock. Cava right here still down 23%. NVIDIA down a little bit. Chipotle down a little bit. Nebius down 2%. And Coreweave recovering just a little. Still down 5%. Why is Circle down 6% after hours? I don't know, but it is. Not sure why. Ethereum still 4,600. That is kind of weird. It's almost like there's some news that came out or something on Circle. I don't see any news yet. It was at almost 190. Oh, hold on. Oh, they just diluted. They just diluted. Circle files for offering 2 million Class A shares, selling stockholders offering 8 million Class A shares as well. There you go. You got the offering. You got the offering. This is probably, someone always knows, this is probably why the entire move to the upside got faded towards the end of the day. Someone probably knew, hey, we're likely going to see some news after hours. And maybe, yeah, kind of the same thing as SOFI. So Circle crushed earnings. So did SOFI. And now they're diluting. Now, again, if you're a long-term investor, you kind of don't care because you trust they're going to do something good with the money. But there you go. Circle right there is down. So that's what you got on Circle. And that's why you're seeing some of the pain. Food spending has been down. The only reason Uber Eats and DoorDash were up is because kids were out of school for summer break. Yeah, I think, going into Q3, we're going to get some real hard data 2 quarters in a row about the state of the consumer. So far, from everything I've seen on earnings, you have individual companies that are saying there's issues with the consumer. But then you have other companies that are rebuking that, like a Levi's, like a Delta, et cetera. And so I think you would need Q3, Circle now down 7%, to really solidify what's going on with the consumer. Then you'll have you'll have at least 3 more months of tariffs being implemented. CPI came in okay today, so maybe the tariffs are not that bad in terms of consumer prices, but we're going to have to see how consumer expenditures end up towards the latter half of the year. All right, folks, there you go. We are now going to get started with a segment we have been unable to do for the past 2 weeks, but I am very excited to get back to it. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for it. Again, we had earnings the past couple of weeks, so we couldn't do it. Technical Tuesday is about to begin. For the new subscribers or those new to the live stream, let me just explain what's going to happen over the next, call it 2.5 to 3 hours. We're going to try to go through as many stocks as we can. Definitely the big ones: NVIDIA, Palantir, Robinhood, Rocket Lab, SoFi, Tesla, all those names, S&P, Qs. But also we're going to try to take some requests and go through names that you guys have. It is going to take a while. So I would just say, if we don't get to your stock immediately, try to stick it out to the end. And if you don't want to stay in earnings or stay during Technical Tuesday, you can leave, and then all of the stocks will be in the chapters in the description. So you'll be able to just pinpoint exactly what stock you care about, and you'll be able to then see the TA on that. All right, folks, it's been 2 weeks and it has been too long, but ladies and gentlemen, it is time to once again roll the intro. Wait, is your mic working? I can't hear you. Yeah, your mic's not working. Yeah, you gotta plug it in.
Check.
There you go.
Mic check.
What's up, man? There you go.
Son of a. What's up, dude?
Dude,
I
people
missed
missed you. Yeah, no, I missed you, and people
See
missed
that?
you. They've been
See that,
asking for
guys?
Jason for 2 weeks now. So.
Nothing but love. Nothing but love. Look at the chat.
They're excited, dude. It's been
Asian Steve in the house.
Asian Steve is in
Asian
the house.
Steve in the house.
What a market it's been for 2 weeks.
Wild.
It's been
Man.
pretty freaking wild. I know you've made some trades, you made some plays, so we'll talk about
Some good, some bad. Mostly good. Been pretty good, actually. Didn't quite hit our goal. Made the money that I was looking for, but not within the time frame I was looking for, actually. But it was good. It's been a good run, actually. It's been a wild market for sure. I thought the software sector was going to have more legs, and then I think I don't know what you think. Do you think it's this ChatGPT 5 thing? Do you think there's any like relevance to that? Do you think it's real?
No, I don't think Salesforce is dead because of ChatGPT. Like, and that's what it's being priced at, which is weird.
Yeah, not just Salesforce, but like a lot of the SaaS,
Adobe, everything.
all of it.
I think this narrative was there back at the end of 2023, and then software outperformed the semis. So unless we see some hard data that the SaaS companies are not putting up earnings, I think AI
there's definite fear around the software sector and their space for sure, though. But they were pretty low, and they were having a nice little run, and then they weren't having a nice little run. That's for sure.
Yeah. I think let's get started, and let's start off with the S&P 500. Let's start off with the market. We'll get into all the individual names, but we hit a new all-time high today. My question for you is this bullish? Are you cautious? It's August. Kind of how are you thinking of technicals on the S&P?
Do you watch a lot of these? I almost said talking heads. That's probably not the best word for that. A lot of these analysts, right? I think it was Dan Niles.
Dan Niles, yeah. His prediction is we're going to run up to 6,900 and then we're going to dump to 6,000 by November.
So I saw that, and I thought it was a really interesting take, and it reminded me of what year was it? The 1 year that will forever last in my brain. It was like 2018.
Yep.
It felt like he was calling for 2018.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm like, well, it's kind of the setup. It's happened before. I think it was over here. But it's still, and this is this is October. This is 2023. Where is it? 2022. God, I got to go so far back. 2020. Oh, I have it marked on my chart. It's burned, seared in my memory.
Yeah.
Christmas Eve 2018. You probably can't see that. It's so low. But I don't think it can be, because this is October. Well, I guess it's August.
I think a lot of the tariff drama already happened, and back in 2018, it was kind of unfolding around December, and that is another reason why.
Yeah, so this is August 2018, and we had our little blip. This is the end of August. This is the beginning of September, and this is the end of September 2018.
Yeah.
And so what's funny, I was thinking about it. Sorry, am I on the clock right now? I didn't get our shot clock. I was really working on it, guys. I was wanted to do the shot clock, but
I'll get you on my phone. I'll get you.
Oh, really? I didn't want to be on the shot clock yet. No. But this is October. This is the beginning of October. And for the new people, there's this term. We call it in trading, we call it the high holiday effect. And the term is sell Rosh Hashanah, buy Yom Kippur. And that is it's very old school. I believe it's old school. But we say that September is universally, but what in reality, it's not all of September. It doesn't actually mean that all of September is poop. It's not all poo-poo. It's just like this typically like 2 to 3 week period that's like a dumpster fire sometimes. Oddly enough, it usually lines up with the real high rollers like Amit. They always push out their taxes. They all do extensions, and their tax extensions are due in like October. And so late September, they have to pay their tax extensions. So it's like this second tax loss harvesting kind of.
I should have done that this year. I would have had more money to buy the April dip instead of paying.
But he would have had more gains to sell in September also, which is kind of like this weird unsaid phenomenon that lines up with the high holiday effect of sell Rosh Hashanah. But this is September. All of this is September of 2018. So literally this is what he's talking about, where we can run into September, and normal years don't look like this, but this is 2018. So, I mean,
you think it's possible for this year?
I think that the setup looks similar, but it's TBD. Like, we're going to have to see. We'll see when we get there. For now, and quite frankly, this was how it was looking coming into it. It was like all August, just higher lows and higher highs, and there was no reason to sell anything until you got this technical break of structure. And I don't remember what had happened in October. Maybe you do, of 2018. But I'll tell you what, between Amit and me, we'll be able to tell what's going to happen. We'll be able to see the warning signs. At least I believe that's true. Whether or not you're able to actually take action is a whole nother story. Like if you think you need to pull the ripcord, or if you need to do something else, or whatever you need to do to take measures, how you take measures is a different story. But yeah, this is like late September, early October.
So do you think 6,400 here is a head fake? It's like bull mania, or it has legs to be this bullish right now?
So let's get back to where we are. So I use these non-farm payroll kind of data points. For right now, what was important was this 62.88. And when we're this high, from a technical perspective, and again, so when we talk about technicals, we are taking off our investing hats and we're putting on a trading hat, which is just totally different, which means that we have profit targets and we have points where you have to sell, because we're just looking for short-term kind of price action, right? And so what I just did was something called a fib extension, fib as in like Fibonacci, whatever. That level right here, we've already done a full extension of that, of that range. So this was that first day, that first Friday of the month, that full extension. We're about to do a second full extension, which would put us at, this is going to be a 646.24. So what was the level you were talking about?
Well, I guess Tom Lee's target is 6,500 by the end of the month.
Well, I mean, tomato. It would probably be close enough for government work. I would say he might be about 3.5 points shy, 3 3/4 points shy. Pretty dang close to it. This would be one of those where, like, if you waited for exactly 65, they might undercut you just by a hair. or it might hit after hours. It's probably going to be one of those moments where it's like, it's there for just such a short period of time, but you're very close, like very close. So anyways, my point was, when you're at all-time highs, from a technical perspective, most of the time technicians have to look left and reference a historical point where price has kind of traversed through that area. And when we don't have those moments, like right now, we have to use fib extensions. And so that's what I've done just now. So right now, yeah, we are at a new all-time high. What I did was just that one fundamental day, that non-farm payroll day, and I used an extension to get there. If I wanted to say, assume that this entire pullback, meaning like this pullback to here, is a kind of liquidity grab, if you will, for lack of a better term, then that does put me right into that 6,500 level. And that's about 65.55. But personally, I'm not using that, but I think that you could easily use that and say, hey, look, that is your extension off this high. As long as you're able to continue, through that area, then you should be able to follow suit or to continue on.
By the way, guys, after hours, Ondas did a public offering. They're down 9%. TSSI did a public offering. They're down 8%. And then Circle did a public offering. They're down 6%. So you got a bunch of dilution after hours.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on then. So it makes sense on the S&P. Let's move on to Tessie. Had a little bit of a breakout, kind of died out today. How are you thinking of TA on Tesla?
Can I, what's it on Wheel of Fortune when they ask for an extension? Will they ask for extra time? Is that a thing?
I mean, we've been on it for 10 minutes. If you need an extra minute.
Wait, I just started this one though.
On what? Tesla or S&P?
Tesla.
No, Tesla, you're good. You're on the shop block for Tesla.
So Tesla, I'm going to start in the way back machine. So I'm going to use a weekly chart and I'm going to remove all lines, right? So the purple line is a 200-week simple moving average. I'm going to go ahead and take that off my screen. That's the purple line here. I don't think that's super relevant at the moment. For right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these SMAs very thick just so that we can see them on my screen. And I just went through this on our weekly stream. And they're a little bit overlapped. So let me just kind of give me a second to adjust my chart.
While you're doing that, I did forget to mention this thing today during the close. Perplexity did make an offer for Google Chrome. They offered $35 billion. Perplexity is worth $18.5 billion. I do not think this was real in terms of an offer. I mean, if Google sold it to them for 35, I think they'd be very happy. I think this was marketing and them trying to prove, hey, we are interested in being able to help out Google with their antitrust stuff. Obviously, Google's not selling this damn browser that's probably worth a couple $100 billion to Perplexity. But the courts are definitely going to look at this now that there's an actual offer, as the courts are thinking of potentially forcing Google to sell the Chrome browser. But yeah, I don't think Google will be selling.
Okay, ready? So clean chart, I just removed everything. So this is a monthly chart that I just put on. Monthly chart Tesla. This looks pretty bullish. This is a 1,700-day consolidation. So technically you could say that Tesla has gone absolutely nowhere for however many days that is. That's a lot of days. I can take this straight across line that I just did and say, okay, well, this is $300 straight across. And I think that's about I think you just started adding or buying at $300.
$335 is when I started buying. Yep.
Look at this guy. It's almost like he's been watching or like trying to learn these technicals for a couple years, or I don't know, a couple.
Bro, I bought it based off vibes.
All right. He's working on, I don't know, male astrology or something. So we can see a pretty clean pivot from a monthly perspective, right? This looks pretty good. From this perspective, if I were to take this and say this is consolidation, this this would be an extremely extended time frame, meaning like how far out you have to think about this chart playing out in time. If this is 1,700 days, then you have to think it's going to take that long to play out. That would put this first stop right about here on that chart. This is that 50% consolidation extension. This is going to line us up at about $600 roughly, right? So I'm going to keep this box on my chart. I'm going to drop down to a weekly. All these lines have stayed the same, right? Now we're going to go into a little bit more of a consolidation. What we know, we've been tracking this chart for many, many months. We know that this consolidation has broken. We also know that this has created a bit of a small or a bit of a recent investor base over that 300 level. I'm going to drop down one more time. Oh, and we also know from here to here, this consolidation is right at a 50% retracement of this, what we call this a swing high to swing low. What's cool about this is that I'm going to go the other way. From this swing low to swing high, this little dot blip in the radar happens to be right here, that golden pocket retracement right here. So this is a bullish retracement and hold right here. And we're about to break what we call another, it looks like we're about to break another range. Dropping down one more time, and this is how technical analysis from a long-term scale works. This level was 300. That was the first one. If you look at this chart, and I'm going to throw on those simple moving averages one more time. So I'm going to throw on the 50. This is the 20-day simple. I'm going to throw on blue is the 50-day simple. And I'm going to throw on the 200-day simple moving average. So blue, white, and red. When we've gone through this, call it exercise many, many times in the past, and whenever I've talked about this, what we're always looking for is we're looking at how condensed these SMAs are. These are daily simple moving averages. These are locked onto the daily time frame of my chart. So chart time frame 1 day. So no matter what time frame I'm flipping between on my chart, they're always going to be in the same spot. Now, what we're looking at is the distance between the two, or distance between the simple moving averages. I'm going to reference this here. We started out very high time frame. The last time that they were this close was here. This was October 2022. When they're this close, and this was as tight can be. This is like baby butt cheek tight. Sorry. That preceded like a 65% move within 100 days, right? Over here, this is another time where they're very close. This gives us just for reference, from here to here, distance between them expanding about a 30-day move for $120. Over here, very close, expanding. Doesn't matter the direction. We're just saying the distance between them. This is a 63-day move for $105. Distance between them very close here. All three very close. Expanding happens to be in the upside. $285 move within 114 days. So point being here, and you can go back into, I don't know, from inception, another very close. This is not really going to be relevant. Oh, I got a sneeze coming. Excuse me.
Your sneeze is much less violent than mine.
Well, I moved really far away. $300 within, this is over a year, 475 days, right? But the point is that when you have a setup that's like this, and this can go either way, which we've shown, that a big move is a brewing. And quite frankly, a big move has been a brewing for quite some time. And I think this
big move is up or down.
Well, as long as, and this is how you know, as long as the price remains above or below, if the price, meaning like the stock, if the stock is above the simple moving averages, as long as it can remain over these simple moving averages, then the move is to the upside. If it were to break to the downside, then the simple moving averages would the distance between them would be increasing, but to the downside. The distance between these SMAs will tell you the distance between them, whichever distance, when they start to expand, the distance in which the direction in which they're expanding will tell you which way the move is happening. And so it was kind of like choppy. Which direction am I going to go? I don't know. But here now, if this gets another day or two to the upside, and last time I was on, probably a week or so ago, we've been watching this chart for a while. We said 335 was the major pivot before earnings. Now we're post earnings. We just crossed back over 335. As long as we're over 335, the distance between these simple moving averages is going to be increasing, but to the upside.
Yeah.
And so two things are true. This being the last consolidation, if I take this and I do another extension from here, this next move is going to get me right into this area on the right hand side of my screen. So I know I'm going over time, is what we call like a volume shelf. Above this is 350. We have very thin structure. Thin structure meaning that we can get a very quick and violent move, just like we've gotten in the past, quick and violent moves on Tesla in both directions. Over this 350 level, the move becomes very fast. And it's going to be like you blinked and it's $20 plus $30 in a day. And the higher you go, especially over this 420 level, the structure gets even thinner and thinner. And that's when you can get some kind of really, the old Tesla returns, if that makes sense. And you are in an active squeeze. If this entire range becomes consolidation, this is lining up one more time for this exact same area that I remember. This measurement here came from that monthly area. So I have a lot of things. And also, by the way, these lines here, they're all telling me the same thing. First stop, second stop, third stop, ultimate stop. They're all telling me that the same thing is happening here, and it's all converging around the $600 level. This is a multi-month. This is not a short-term thing. So, but this is where the worlds of trading and quote unquote investing actually merge. It's a very rare thing. It's kind of one of the things that we do a lot, but it's where you can potentially find a multi-month, what we call swing trade, that could kind of align with an investment thesis. It's rare that the two worlds align, but in this instance, they are going to align. Also, near term, this very near term consolidation is now breaking structure, meaning the structure of like this consolidation has now broken out, right? It's just now starting break out of this, what we call a little wedge consolidation. So it doesn't have to go tomorrow. Remember, we're at the pivot. I say pivot as in what was resistance. So this was resistance here, came back down and launched off of resistance. And then it was near-term support. And then it acted as resistance and boom, shot back down. And then it came back and retested again, acted as resistance a bit. And this area can kind of act like a trampoline a bit. It was resistance, has been resistance. It was resistance here. So this is a bit of what we would call like a triple top acting resistance. It's going to be a big deal level. This is about 350. If Tesla's going to take a bit, it could take a little while to try to push through. It could take some time. But if it can launch through here, this is going to be like a beach ball type move. It's going to be poof, gone. And it might even be like instantly gone. The 350 level extension through is going to be very quick. 50 is going to be a quick $40 between 350 to 390. It's going to be a very short, explosive move through this very thin structure. That's what I can tell you. Does it stay up there?
30 seconds, and then we're done.
Does it stay up there? It'll probably come back and hover, but it's going to be short-lived. And that's when I think it becomes like every dip gets bought if it's not already. But that's the pathing that this could be. And then I think this becomes almost like Apple-esque, where it's like it was left for dead almost, and it becomes like a crazy catch-up trade that you might have to chase if this starts to happen. So I would just keep a very close eye on it. This could be a multi-month type of trade / investment that starts to kick off within the next week or so.
Okay.
335 is key. And these SMAs, if it loses that, the trade is kind of got to go.
Yeah.
We'll go back on to watch.
One of the reasons I started buying Tesla as well is because I just saw Elon tweeting the worst stuff he could possibly tweet, and the stock only got to 275. So to me, it's just like, it's either at some point you're going to bite the bullet, and I think at these levels, it's not crazy to bite the bullet. By the way, for everyone saying ETH all-time high is on the way, maybe, but ETH all-time high is 4,800. We're at 4,600. So we are not, I mean, we're kind of close, but we're not like literally dollars away yet. So
they like the front run, dude. You could give it to them. Why not? They like to front run. You could give it to them. Celebrate early.
We got $200. We got $200 together. Okay, Pounter.
No fronts, guys. That's what Amit said.
Wait, we got it. We got to get there first. Pounter. What are you thinking on this one? All-time highs after all-time highs. Earnings was great. What do you think?
I think I just have it, and it just keeps going up. Like it's almost like hoodie or something. I don't know what's happening, but ChatGPT 5 is not it's not holding this one back. This is an extension from, oh, look at that. So it's very similar kind of setup. So this was that last consolidation. We've just doubled that. Look at this. So this is one of our old charts, hence doubled, since doubled, sorry. Here. Why does that look like? Oh, is that? Dude, TradingView is really starting to upset me.
We need to get you on Legend, bro. They need to work on their chart. It's not there yet, but maybe eventually they get you. You did call for this 180 price. Yeah, it kind of matches.
Yeah, well, so 180 comes from this consolidation breakout. So that's literally what 180 comes from. So it's very simply like a measured move of this consolidation when it was breaking out of here. This breakout, that measured move took us to 185. That's what it is. So again, trading hat. This is trade. So if it was trading, that would be target acquired, which means that you have to really hold here, and then the next target would be this. But when you have a target like this, you have to really be cautious that it holds that level, because otherwise, is that an earnings gap? Yeah. So post earnings, at least it looks like you did get some kind of extension post earnings. Oh yeah. So you've got some extension post earnings. You would have to look at this, each individual consolidation as a new kind of break. And so you have to go like week by week at this point and say, okay, well, as long as it's holding 181, all right, well, the next move is to 195. This is almost like next level. You remember like Hoodie or whatever, or Palantir. If you cross 70 stocks that break 75, go to like 125, you just add 100 in front of it. So stocks that break 175 go to like 225. It's going to work like that. But it's got to hold that. So between here and there, it could be 175 as a back test. Maybe 160.
All right. Hoodie. What are you thinking about this one?
I mean, we got there almost 122. It's very similar. I didn't think that this was I wasn't prepared for a new breakout, but dude,
it's a new breakout. You remember Jason, for those that don't know, was saying $50 support. I mean, is that $100 support instead? Were you $50 off? Like,
no, I wasn't. It was $50 support, wasn't it? It was here. It's 47.
I know,
but the support,
if we get $100 support, it would be incredible, dude.
$100 support now?
I mean, I hope so. I hope it is.
It's $90 support is what it ends up being. And then it was 65 support, $60 support.
Well, the
I don't
earnings, I think, are justifying a new breakout at these levels.
I don't know if you guys done Amit and I were texting back and forth the other day, and I was like, Amit, I'm not sure why Hoodie couldn't be $1 trillion company. Yeah. And he replies, I'm not really sure either. I'm like, well, just saying, in 10 years time. Yeah, and I posted what I post. I posted this thing on X. And what did I say? I was like, going long, starting new position, Hood. What did I say? Starting new position, Hood, January 15th, 2037, 1,000 calls. Yeah. Because that would be $1 trillion.
If they keep growing like this, I don't see why they can't get to $1 trillion one day.
That's kind of my thing. I'm like, well, I've said this a million times. Like at this point, I've honestly stopped trading Hood. I just own it because like I don't even want to trade it. But I will. We'll go ahead and do it. So I have from this initial retracement, we've already, so the 2x of this was already 103.
Yeah.
We've already gotten there. A 3x of that is 150, or it's 140. And so that would essentially be like your full next stop. A 2.5x is going to be right into 128s, between 123 and 129. Call it 125, which in all respects would be most people's next target here, and then ultimately the 140s.
I think with the earnings growth, 120. I mean, I've been calling for 120 now over the past couple of weeks with S&P and the earnings. I mean, I don't think that's crazy. Your target's around 130-ish.
No. So now we're gonna go since we are firmly over 104. I say firmly, since we're over 104, one day, 1 week, we're just gonna go one breakout at a time. If this is the consolidation that we're talking about here now, and I already put the measurement on it, to double this puts us at 133. And to triple that does bingo, bango, bongo, 154.
That would be an actual Palantir move, because if Hood is able to get anywhere near the 150s.
I don't understand why you keep using this argument as if Hood wasn't going to do a Palantir move.
No.
As if it wasn't always going to make a Palantir move.
If Hood had Palantir's multiple, Hood would be a $350 stock right now. That's my point.
Oh, yeah, but it's not. It's yeah.
Look, we all expected when they were at 30, 40.
We don't want a Palantir multiple.
I mean, I wouldn't mind.
If Hood had Palantir's multiple, I would be a little freaked out.
I mean, dude, I would be freaked out too. But like, if the market can sustain it because they think
I still wouldn't sell it, but I would be a little freaked out.
Yeah, but that's my point. You wouldn't. That's the thing about Palantir. No one's selling Palantir because everyone's, they're in love with Palantir. So it's like, I don't think people are set. Can Hood actually become this generation's finance unicorn is the question. And it doesn't need to go to freaking 500 billion overnight, but
can Hood actually become what?
Can it become this generation's finance unicorn? Palantir is this generation's AI unicorn.
It already is. I mean, what do you mean, can it become?
Well, agreed. Can it sustain? Because right now the big knock against them is that if we get a bear market, Hood's done, right? And that's the question. So I think
if we get a bear market, then do you think Hood is under-owned at the institutional level?
The institutions have actually been selling more that I've seen. It used to be 80%. Now it's at like 75%. So institutions have taken profits for sure. I do not think it's under-owned. I think it's getting this multiple because people keep seeing the execution. But for them to keep this multiple, they've got to keep executing and put up the growth along with it. But it's not like some institutional investor is going to be so excited they're going to buy a ton of Hood. Like they own it already,
Do they?
I think so. I don't think there's any lack of institutions that know about the name. But with Palantir a year and a half ago, that was a big issue. Institutions just didn't own it.
Yeah. I don't know that they all do. I don't know. Well, I listen, you listen to the CNBCs. I mean, I listen, like you hear like Josh Brown or whoever, they're talking about like owning ICE or like CBOE or something. No, nobody's talking about owning Hood.
That's true. That's fair.
I don't know.
That's fair. That's a fair point. Okay, NVIDIA. What are we thinking with this bad boy?
High and tight, man. 15%. They're giving AMD and NVIDIA. That's official, right?
Yes, that's official. Yep.
And the stock market shrugs it off.
Didn't care.
Also
so
official.
Bullish. So bullish.
Also official. I think AMD is going to go for another one too. Just saying. So again, when we are at all-time highs, I just have to take one consolidation after another, and I can only measure one little move. I can't go like super bigly and be like, okay, we're gonna go to like 500, right? Or like 500x, right? I can say, hey, look, from here to here, I will go ahead and retrace that on a weekly perspective. But my gut is that, hey, look, we've already kind of hit a lot of these marks. And so that's going to put me right in here, meaning from this consolidation, pull back here to here. This has actually pretty much put us at target at 194. We're going to hit our first area of interest. That's between 186 to 195, a full-blown doubling of this, and I'll just draw this across, meaning if this is the consolidation, the full-blown doubling of that is going to be 219. But just bringing it into this very high and tight, we'll call it like just that consolidation. That first spot does put me right into here. And this does align with about just underneath 200. So this kind of pathing, I hope that's okay. Looks like a little bit of a blip first and kind of choppy. And it look like somewhat like this. Can you guys see this okay? I know let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Is that helpful on the numbers? I probably need bigger.
Yeah, a little bigger there.
Bigger?
Yeah. There you go. Perfect. A lot better. Yeah.
Oh, this is so big on my screen. That probably comes out. Does that look better for you guys? I think that
way better.
Okay. So
by the way, real quick, Eli Lilly CEO bought 1 million of his stock after hours. That stock is up 1%.
Okay. So this is that topping right here. That's at 184. We've gotten 1, 2, 3 tries. The fourth one probably breaks. This 186 is that full consolidation. So I think it gets like a little bit of a fake out, like what we call like a push through. You want to see that kind of come back and rest on the top of that 184 level. It's going to look super strong. I don't think you need to chase that first one. Typically, you don't need to chase that first one. And if you do, you might freak out because it might instantly come back. So that's not usually the best course of action. You could do one of two things. You can wait till it pulls back, rests, and then goes again. Or you can wait for something like this, where it pushes again and makes another new high and takes it somewhere around 187 to make this larger move into that area. This is, again, trading hat, not investing hat. Investing hat, you got to be careful, because if it fails like this, that would be worst case scenario, which is possible. When we're at all-time highs, we can get a lot of what we call look above and fails. That's what this would be. So look above and fail. It's kind of a fake out setup. I wouldn't be super deterred unless this was a Dan Niles type of setup. And I'm just putting this out there so that people know, hey, look, what does worst case look like? Depending if this takes way too long, and this happens in like October or like late September, then an extended consolidation with that super late push, but the consolidation comes down too deep like that, and then you have a breakdown below the breakout point, that actually is a short. And this happens a lot. So sometimes waiting for that breakout isn't always the best, which is what I meant. Like if you wait for that, maybe a little cautious, because you could have that scenario where you actually end up breaking down like that, which is people, if you've ever taken a trade like that and you've had this happen to you in the chat, like type a like a 1 or something like that happens to a lot of traders. You just need to be really cautious. So if you're an investor, don't worry about this. This is strictly for traders. So sometimes this is a better entry, or waiting for like a better base over this and seeing if you can confirm that breakout through. You look at all the ones, yeah. They've had this happen. This is a very real thing.
Okay, there you go. Jason's Twitter, by the way, in the chat, so everyone can follow him there on Twitter. Anything else on NVIDIA, or are we good to move on?
No, I think it looks very constructive, very constructive. But like my only caution is if you catch this as it's breaking, you do want to take some, from a trading perspective, you do want to take some early profits. And you do have earnings coming at the end of August. So I would expect that you do get some of that. And then if you get a follow through into, just be cautious. You have this 190s as a profit taking area.
Okay, SOFI. What do you think?
Oh, I haven't looked at this in a minute. Ooh. So we hit this. So
today was the highest close since 2021.
Actual close. So this is post offering.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, interesting. So this
are
is
you still long? Do you own this still?
No, I actually closed it. So this is our broadening formation that we've had for forever on SOFI. How come I can't get this? That has, see, by the way, this is that same kind of stuff. So why Tesla is super interesting when you have this, and we pointed all of this same kind of stuff out on SOFI. It's the same stuff. Whenever you see that, these are good setups, and you multi-month type of swing trade. Here you go. But you did hit this peak. You're actually not pulling back, which is interesting. So I don't know that this, I don't know that you need to do anything here. That still remains. So it's still 25s. So that's going to remain your overhead resistance in a big way. So it's 25, 24 season. Has anything changed fundamentally? I don't know.
I mean, they put up an amazing quarter.
Sure.
And then you have rate cuts coming, which helps.
You can see that. So what happens is that like something can actually hug. They can hug these. That's the best case scenario, is you kind of hug that broadening formation. So just as an aside, like, so what it looks like from a downside perspective is that they will hug. If it was it'll just hug it, right? And so you really just buy it when it's further away. And if it gets too far extended, well, then you could sell if you're investing. If it gets too far extended, right? Let's say it goes like that, then you sell some covered calls, kind of thing. But as long as it's kind of traversing that line, that will end up being, if it can stay on the up and up, that's your channel. That would be the new channel that it's going to try and traverse.
Okay, cool. AMD.
So 175 is, these are very large now on my screen, but if it's easier for you guys to see it, it's just massive in front of my face now. So I'm going to put a line, like a horizontal line really quick at 175. Key pivot. So 175, we draw it straight across. So all of this here, it closed like right there. I think this key right in there. I think today's close was very constructive. This fib that I have is from that swing high all the way down to this swing low. The 20-day simple, same thing. Tesla like. We are still like the distance between them still actually expanding. Holding over 170 was actually really key post earnings, and the NVDA like shrug off, all of that is crazy constructive. Net, I think you can just drop this down into a smaller time frame and say, hey, look, if tomorrow AMD can get through this 175, if it gaps up tomorrow, and I mean tomorrow, it's going to look really good. And even today's close, if this is that consolidation, I think it's, look at this. So it's already on its way to breaking through well over the 20. I can just take this, and everybody has the number. Chat, what's the number on AMD? They all have the same number. The next number on AMD is, drum roll,
200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 175 to boom, there they have it, right? So measured move, technicals are going to align with this sentiment, right? If it can get through 175, and this was key. So we've just aligned a lot of stuff. It's well over this pivot. Holding that 170 was key, right? Here's your shelf right here. You've got a lot of confluence here. This is a big consolidation area. This press through was pretty large. It could overshoot it. That's fine. But just one step at a time, like we do. This is after hours now. A gap up tomorrow, holding this consolidation break. Just this measure move from this simple consolidation. Sorry, I'm trying to resize and everything. Actually puts us in that 200 level here. This is 50% of that consolidation. A full extension would be about 212. I think you need at least a month though, for this to go through. First stop, for sure. You obviously I say obviously, obvious to me, you have to break out of that consolidation for that to really validate. Let me just check one thing. Yeah, so that 182.5, that is prior week high. So for sure, you have to get through. You definitely have to get through that weekly level, 182.5, and then you're kind of validated. Until then, it's possible that you get a gap and kind of chug around like that, and then see that. But you be really careful. If it doesn't crack through that, you don't want to get stuck in something like this, right?
Right.
That's still so super crucial. You could take one shot. If you don't see that, this is your confirmation. That's gonna be your confirmation that this is gonna go time. This right here, this first move, it looks constructive, but you need to be cautious of possible plan B, exit stage left ripcord if it doesn't follow through. From a trading perspective, not investing. Next.
Rocket Lab. What do you think?
Ooh. I've not looked. Hey, she survived.
Yeah, she got hit after earnings, but held on.
I mean, did she though?
For a little bit, yeah.
I mean, she looks perfectly. She didn't look like no red wire to me.
Oh, that one was ugly.
It's a different beast over there.
Yeah, that one wasn't pretty. And look, Rocket Labs, I mean, dude, this thing was 15 in April. So
Yeah. Daily looks decent, dude. We'll see. This is it's you know what's funny about this stuff? I mean, you see ASTS. This is a chart. I mean, Rocket Lab. This is a moment, and I can look at a chart and I'm like, the bears have again, the bears have every opportunity here to take this thing down. It's below the 20-day, right? It's not only below the 20-day, it's rejecting the 20-day. I've got a lower high twice. But interestingly here, that is a higher low. I've got lower highs. This is now turning into consolidation where what should have happened, I say should have happened, meaning what I mean to say here is that the bears have every opportunity to take this out. They've had every opportunity, but they failed to do their job. The bears suck on Rocket Lab.
100% they suck.
They've not been able to do their job, and the bulls are just overtaking them because this should have come down a while ago. They've had one shot. Dude, Rocket Lab bears suck. 2 shots. 1, 2, 3 shots. I think they're out of shots. I feel like I should. No, I'm not going to do anything here. But for whatever reason, the bears have not been able to take this out. And technically speaking, they should have been able to already. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 knocks on the door. You can technically, you only want to knock on the door so many times, but someone's buying this up. And for right now, this looks more like accumulation because they're not able to take it out. So every time they're trying to sell it off, someone's picking it back up. So possibly a new investor base coming in. We'll know if it falls apart, cool. And then it's 37s towards the 50-day simple. But it's not back in an uptrend until it's technically over that 20-day. And if it does, then you're 60. If it does, you're 60. For now, you haven't really gotten out of that. You tried, but it's still in that consolidation. Technically, you are still in an uptrend though. Longer term, that's your channel right there. So it could still even come down further, and it could still hit 40 and still be in this.
I agree with Austin. 1 Golden Dome tweet away from 60.
Yeah. Well, the technicals tell me that if it does break out to the upside, it would be 60.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Why is it Golden Dome?
Why is it called the Golden Dome?
Why would the Golden Dome tweet? Why would a U.S. Golden Dome?
Yeah, they're one of the vendors that could be selected.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Them, Anduril, SpaceX, Palantir. There's a lot of them that could be in it. Okay, cool. So Rocket Lab, you are bullish on.
I mean, I didn't know. I might not be bullish enough. I don't know. I like that it's not. I like that it didn't get really sold off. This is like, hoodie. I really like that it barely moved. When I texted him in, I was like, $10 implied move for Robinhood earnings. I was like, that feels really underpriced, but it wasn't. It was actually a little bit overpriced. Yes. And watching Robinhood earnings not really go through like the fireworks that it went through the last one, I'm like,
it was a delayed reaction.
No, the reason I got so freaked out a couple of quarters ago is because the beta was just so high for a large position for me. I don't like that kind of crazy beta. Like Palantir has matured from a stock perspective. It doesn't have the crazy moves. It doesn't move 20-30% anymore in a day.
Yeah.
Robinhood is not moving 20-30% in a day anymore. It's moving 3 to 5% in a day, which is still a lot.
Yeah.
But it's maturing as an asset itself, not a company, but like as an asset.
And if they get into the S&P, that could really solidify some maturity.
But that's what I'm saying. And I'm kind of starting to see something similar on Rocket Lab here so far, because Rocket Lab would do the same.
Okay.
Maybe I'm speaking too soon. Who knows? Maybe, dude, is it possible that there's the trifecta between Palantir, Robinhood, and Rocket Lab? Is that possible? No.
There are 3 big retail names.
I mean,
they have big communities around them that have done well too.
Yeah.
Okay, HIMS. What are we thinking about that one?
I don't think it's in the trifecta, but I know you like it. Holding 47.
I mean, this thing was 65 last week. Now it's at 45. Like this thing, just the level of.
Would you rather HIMS or grab?
Okay, I would take grab. The chat would take HIMS because HIMS is volatile and moves. But I mean, everyone's gonna say HIMS, but I like grab's growth story for the next 5 years.
Dude, I mean, you don't know that.
I don't know. People are gonna take HIMS has a good community, and HIMS is a great stock. I just personally see grab's story a little bit.
Look at grab. See, you don't give your own community credit.
Wow, why are you guys agreeing with grabby? Dude, everyone loves
because I'm telling you, dude, you're not even giving your own community credit.
When grab breaks out, it will be one of the most exciting things ever because people actually do believe in it now. And,
I mean, would you look at your own chat?
No, yeah. I didn't expect them to see these many people to say grab. I thought more people like HIMS. We got a decent amount of grabs here. You have way more grabs than HIMS, to be honest.
Okay, decent amount.
Do you guys not like Andrew Dudham or something? Goodness, bro. Where is the HIMS cult? They used to be so deep in the chat.
No respect here, dude.
I think people have loaded the hell up on grab and everyone's waiting for and so when this breakout is going to be a fun one because a lot of people miss Robinhood, a lot of people miss Palantir. This one, all of us are like, all right, $5 we're in. And now we got to see.
They like the cheap stocks, dude. I don't know what it is, like why people do like I have friend like Tony, my partner, he likes cheap stocks. I'm like, dude, what? I don't get it.
It's just more like if Meta. I know you hate the stock split thesis, but I wish Meta was 70 instead of 700. You know, just easier to buy it. But I'm also not.
It's because I'm an options trader and I like
yes
large dollar moves.
Yes, that's also true. Also, you have $15 million, $20 million, $30 million. I don't know how much, but you have a lot of money. You can buy some 790 shares, no problem. So see, he's not denying it. Look at him. He's smiling. He's not denying it.
No, I did. Some of my guys were like laughing at me the other day. So I got kicked out of TOS retail like years ago. Anyways.
Yeah, you're at $100 million, bro. They're not going to let you.
No, at 10 million, you have to go to. Anyways, it was an institutional thing. HIMS, yeah, it's chilling, but it has broken structure. That structure. See that little blip?
Yeah.
Blippy blip right here. And then I mean, I think it's choppy. I don't know how violent this gets. This doesn't look like it's going to be a big mover. You know, so you remember we were just talking about this. We're like, where the distance between these SMAs is expanding, you get some very large moves. Well, this is the opposite. Where the distance between these SMAs is going to be contracting. Right. You get some smaller moves. So this is going to be going into some kind of consolidation to me. I think it is.
Fair. It's still up 120% this year. It's not like, you know.
Yeah. And I mean, healthcare is not in the most. So when we teach, so still in process of these courses, but like there are 3 types of analysis. 3 actually, not so. There's, how do I take this label down? It's got to move. Maybe I should move. I got to move this way. 3.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. So there's technical analysis, which you come to Technical Tuesday for. There's fundamental analysis, which Amit does a lot of. And then also, which you hear on social every day, and what Amit gives you in addition to fundamentals is sentiment. So you have sentiment analysis, which is like you need all 3 things to be a really good trader. So the sentiment around healthcare in general is not great right now. Right. It's not like the spot that you want to be in. Like, sure, you might get some pops here and there, but like healthcare as a whole, like as a sector, has been kind of in the dumpster.
Novo, Lilly, all of them.
Yeah. So
Oscar, UNH.
Yeah. So to think that HIMS right here, right now is going to be in the right place is just, it's not in the right sector. So because the sentiment around that space isn't that great, it's just going to be a while. It might be good company and it might have a good like following, but the sentiment around the group of stocks or like the sector that it's in right now is that matters.
Okay, Google breaking above 200. What do we think?
Le Googs, baby, you added though.
No,
I know this.
I've been holding, but I haven't added. I mean, I bought it.
You said you added when I said you're going to add, right?
Yeah, 150, but that was 2 quarters ago, so it's been a while.
So now you're up a lot. And last time when we were talking about this, we said January what? Calls?
Well, I still need 210 to break even. I'm still down on the calls. So
you should not be down on the calls when we said add. And I said I'm getting January. Chat knows I'm getting January 200 calls.
You're getting or you have them? I
said here, all of this January 200 calls.
Yeah, I didn't buy those. But
I said you could just add to yours.
That's fair. But remember, I had 150 in the monies. I didn't have 200s.
You could have added 150. I'm not having this argument. Chat, save me.
I'm willing to break even at 210, and we got to see.
I know, but you could. Again, I digress. So what's the question here? Where are we going?
Are we going to 210? Am my calls breaking even? That's the question. By January, so we got 5 months.
Is this from your original purchase you're asking, or from your average?
No, it's from my original purchase.
Okay, but that does not what matters.
Well, I think 210 is a good barometer to see, are we actually breaking out, or is this a fake above 200, or are we actually going to 220? Like, what are we doing?
Well, I think you should actually be net profit. I don't think there's any real way that you're not actually net profitable, especially after selling a bunch of calls against it.
Oh yeah, if we talk about the covered call premiums, yes,
of course, because that's part of it.
Okay, so yeah,
I'm already doing that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, because could be doing that. And I think that's part of it here is like selling October 225s against those, like all day.
Right now, I don't have any calls on them because I'm scared because I think Google could break out. So I have not done any.
I think you could sell some 225s, but yeah, it's possible for sure because every day it's like a little bit more. So dropping down to a 30 here. So this is our last, so 30 with a multi-day view. So remember this exercise, we are expanding, right? Distance between them. So we are in a breakout type of move still. And this is just recently. So yeah, we can get some extension. 205 here. You're right. This is a big deal. And if I go back over here, I'm a little cautious to do this just yet. I think it's a little bit early. Let me go ahead and move. So I'm going to zoom out. I'm clearly going over time. Can the chat tell me if I'm taking too long Were you telling
Google,
me?
people care about Google, so let's spend
Do
time.
they?
Yeah. I mean, people got to really buy the dip when Gene Munster was saying it's going to be like eBay. So people are happy.
Dude, can we talk about eBay? Like, what the hell?
Coreweave down 11% after hours. This one got
I don't understand what's happening to eBay. I don't get it.
We'll do grab after this, guys. We'll do grab after this.
Like, why is eBay up so much?
It had its best day in 15 years, bro.
Dude, it's the best year.
Well, yeah, best year, technically, yeah.
Okay, so this breakdown level from this, like, whatever earnings, I think that was some kind of acquisition announcement, 205.21. That's a big level. And I'm pretty positive, like, we're essentially right there, 205.50.
February, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
To today. Very, very close. So we're going to use that. And here now, this most recent consolidation here, we know that this consolidation is already broken. And we know that this consolidation has just broken. So consolidation 1, 2, 3, 4, that four top post earnings consolidation. So I'm going to use this here. And so we are just now nearing the halfway point. If we can continue on, that is going to bring us at 211 and potentially, so we get through here, we get to 211. We can pull back to 206. So these are chunky, possibly 220. And then ultimately the number is 225. So in my mind, it was possibly selling October 225 calls. If I pull this all the way back, I'm going to see if I can align this. My guess is that it will anyways. If I take that major swing high, major swing high, major swing low, that is 240. I really wouldn't go much further.
40 by when?
Good question. Let's get you the answer.
Dude, if we see 240 on Google by end of year, oh my God.
No.
That would be a hell of a story. It's still only up 7% this year. We'll do UNH as well. We'll take a look at that one.
No, it's not going to be end of year, bro. This would be
March.
You're not going to like my answer.
It's about April.
February 2026. Actually,
February's
it's not bad. That's not bad.
That is not
nearly as bad as I was thinking it would be.
Dude, do Google 240 February. I think everyone will be happy with that. We'll take it.
Yeah, 240 to 270.
Now, granted, they have a lot of DOJ stuff that could happen in the meantime.
They do. They have a lot of stuff they need to deal with.
Okay, so you like Google here?
Yeah, I like it as so that is not confirmed until you can. So just like what we were talking about a little bit ago, AMD. So it has to get through that actual high, and it has to hold it for like a month. 209. 209.50, call it 210 for round numbers. It has to really break through that. And if it can't break through that, then, well, it's not happening. For right now, it looks like it looks very close. But you would be front running, like Amit's not going to give us, he's not giving us credit for Ethereum all-time high. He's probably not going to give me credit for this yet.
What if Sundar agrees to give Trump 15% of his search ad revenue? And then, we just go.
What happened to Sundar quitting? Like, do you think Google would pop still if you remember when it would be like if Sundar left, Google would explode?
I have always felt the Sundar hate was a bit irrational. Like, I get it. He's not the most entertaining and charismatic and all that, but like, he's running a pretty big company. I don't know. I felt like that was a bit aggressive.
Well, so is Tim.
And Tim did what he had to do last week. So I put in the chat, if Sundar, let me put in a poll. If Sundar quit, Google pops, Google goes up or down. What do you guys think? Let's see. What do you think, Jason? You think if he quits?
I think he's got a little street cred back.
I think so. Well, I think so as well. Austin says if Sundar leaves, I sell everything tomorrow.
See, because there was a time when he had no street cred. There was a time when every Google release was just chat on, and the street, like, they fumbled everything. And then, did you see the most recent Pixel commercial?
Was that with a Dochi? I think it's
no. Evan posted it, and I was like,
"Oh, they took shots at Apple, right?"
I know, and I was like, low key, that was probably the best Google Pixel commercial I've ever seen.
Wait, let me bring it up. Google Pixel.
I can text it to you.
Yeah, text it to me. I'll share it.
I only have it because like I texted to my buddy, but I was like, dude, legit.
Yeah, shout out to Sundar for giving Palantir Project Maven because he rejected it back in 2019, and Palantir's made a lot of money off that now. But yeah, the DOJ case around, do they have to force sell Chrome?
I texted
break
you.
Up? That I think that's the big question here. Oh, you have it as an actual video, not a tweet?
Yeah. You have to tweet it.
No, I don't want to. Well, okay, so I'm not going to play with the audio because the freaking audio will get copyrighted.
That's the only way. Oh.
Why isn't it not showing? Dude, oh no, there it is. There it is. Hold on, let's see. No, I still can't see it. Okay, I'll figure out how to share this in a bit because I'll find it on Twitter as well. And then we'll share it on Twitter. StreamYard's weird with showing from your Mac.
Oh, really?
But okay, so your point is Google's getting on the offensive. That's your main argument right here.
My point was that, yeah, like Google, ChatGPT 5, yeah.
Oh, I got it now. I got it. Okay, I got it on Twitter. I'm not going to share the music, but
I got it too.
Okay, here we go.
I don't think there's subtitles.
You're right. Hold on.
You could.
Yeah, dude, we can't watch it. They're gonna nuke the stream about it. But I'll link it in the chat for anyone who wants to watch it. YouTube, bro, you can't freaking play anything copyright. But I'll link it right here. The point is they mocked Apple's Siri delay. That's the point. And that is why people are excited about it, because Google is going on the offensive and taking shots at Apple. And, you know, Sundar is getting some momentum because of that. Okay, cool. So we're bullish Googs. I think then if we did Googs, we should do Meta.
Yeah, it was like you could buy a new phone for a feature that's coming soon.
Right.
Or you could change your definition of soon. Or you could just buy a new phone. I was like, what?
I like it. Look, I'm never
like what?
Android, but I like
no, that was good.
That was good. Okay, actually, I said grab. Let's do grab real quick. Let's do grab first, and then we'll do Meta. I think the fact that this didn't hit $5 today, I can't prove it, but I think they're controlling it, bro. I know you don't really believe in the whole manipulation stuff, but I think they're pinning it down at these levels. And I think eventually it breaks out, but we're gonna see. I don't think the stock should be below 6 based on their earnings, but market will see.
I was gonna say, what do you want it to hit 5?
Well, I would like it to hold above 6. That would be a multi-year breakout. We got close to 6 last month, and then we had one of the best earnings in company history, and then it falls to 470. Are you kidding me? Like what? Like what is this price action? It makes, again, and if I could explain why the stock went down, like SOFI went down because of dilution. Okay, it makes sense, right? Robinhood went down after earnings because they were up 3x in 3 months. Like you could understand, it takes a breather. Grab has barely moved all year. They put up the best earnings ever. They're profitable. They're showing increased growth across every metric. They re-accelerated GMV growth and top-line revenue growth. They're going to grow 25 to 30% next quarter. I think the street wants to know what they're doing with their cash, or they want to see a guidance raise. And the technicals set up a beautiful inverse head and shoulder going into the print.
right now.
What do you say?
I'm going to do you a favor right now. We're going to move the stock to.
What are you talking about?
5.
Wait, you're buying shares right now? There's no
Move
way.
it to 5.
There's no way you move this shit right now. There's no way.
It's not moving.
Wait, you're trying to buy like 20,000 shares? You're not going to move this, bro. Granted, after hours, it is a little wonky.
Why isn't it moving?
Because they're controlling it, bro. I'm telling you.
Fuck you.
Hold on. There's 52,000 shares at 5. You're not moving that. Unless you're buying.
I literally put orders to buy it at 5 just now. Why isn't it?
Did it actually? Hold on. Did it move to 5? Yo, wait, no, that was your cursor. That wasn't the actual stock. Dude, you need to try harder, bro. You need to try harder.
I'm trying. It just says there's 80.
If you're gonna pump our bags, actually pump our bags.
I'm not actually gonna.
Don't do this freaking teasing shit. Okay. Anyway, what are you thinking of the TA? Is there any TA?
It will let me buy it at 5, but it won't move the stock to 5.
Yeah, dude, they've been stealing money from investors for the past couple months now.
They
will let this run. I don't know when, but they will. They are not going to keep this down at these levels at freaking 50% cash forever.
5. Move.
You're not moving it, bro. Which is ironic because 2 weeks ago it was at 590 after hours. It was not. It was like just constantly.
Anyways,
hold on. I think I can. Hold on. I can see your orders on Webull.
I just put one in, buy it at 5, and I'll execute at 5, but it's not.
Yeah, it's not going through. I see it.
No, it's buying it, but it's not changing the price.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, exactly.
Anyways.
All right. Well, is the TA good or bad? What do you think?
It's what we call this trapped. So it's stuck. We call this. It's gonna play like simple moving average ping pong. So it will do that until it's out of this consolidation.
How do you know it's out of the consolidation? Like, what do the 20 and 50 have to converge, or how are you?
So you're gonna get a setup very similar to a Tesla, to a SOFI. They're gonna get real tight. They're already tightening up. So like, if I were to measure this, right? So like the distance here to here, like 60 cents already. And then now the distance here to here, 40 cents. So it's like 30% smaller. And then this is going to go in and it's going to do it again. And it's going to do it again. And meanwhile, this is going to get tighter, right? That'll be your 200. And then this is going to get even tighter. That's going to be your 50. And it's going to look like that. And it's going to come to like an ultimate, penultimate. What's after penultimate?
Honestly, I don't know.
Squeezer. Like that. Where it's just super tight. It may not even get all the way there.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's going to look like very trappy and choppy for a minute. But at some point.
Well, there you go. We got 5 after hours. Congrats. They gave it to us the whole day. They wouldn't give us 5. They gave it to us after hours.
But at some point, like whether it's here or there or whatever, this is the consolidation that you remain in, right? It can extend beyond. What's good about this is, so while we do look at the distance between these SMAs, that's cool. They are contracting, so you're going to go into this consolidation. The good thing is that the angle of the 200-day is still up, right? It's going to start to flatten out. Like the longer that the consolidation goes on, the flatter that it's going to be. 50 is again starting to flatten out. This is all going to start to flatten out. And then when it gets to that ultimate point, wherever that happens to be, it looks like it's going to be, I mean, on September. Like something's going to happen. I don't know what. But it's still going to be kind of like this lower liquidity area here, and you're still going to have that same exact range. You might still get another opportunity to have that fake out.
Oh, dude, if they give us 450, I am buying a lot.
I thought you were maxed out.
No. I always have money for more grab, bro. Dude, I'm really building a real position here, like a legit.
The biggest issue is that Robinhood is limiting you to account size.
Yeah, but it's actually good because now instead of buying contracts, I can just buy shares, so I don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, I would defer. To me, I've always said something like this. I would defer to equity, anyways.
Yeah.
You just don't. You don't like again. You don't want this, which. I mean, you could.
I mean, if they give us 4 and below, it's just, I know personally as an investor, that's stupid. There would have to be something fraud in the company or something, like if they give that to us.
Yeah.
So that's like Hood going back to 60 or something, or like 70. Like that's just based on the earnings. It doesn't make sense. But we would have to see.
I would still, I guess you would feel the same way because, like, at this point, I'm like,
I buy so much if it gets to 70. Bro.
I'm like, dude, whatever. I mean, I was thinking about it too. I was like, I don't even care anymore. It's like if that happens, like that's so stupid to say though.
Well, it just means that the company's proven they're worthy of your capital, and a dip is worth buying if the market gives it.
I feel like the chat would laugh at our text sometimes. Because like Amit was talking about what like he like on Hood earnings, he was like, dude, this is gonna be so much fun.
Jason was a party pooper. He was like, well, what's the implied move? I was like, I don't know, but it'll be fun. And he was like, what if it's not? I was like, well, we are gonna see.
I was like, in what world is possibly losing $1 million fun, you sicko?
I was like, well. We're gonna see Vlad live. It's fun. Okay, let's do Meta. What are you thinking on Meta?
Dude, Meta looks good still. It's 800. Well, it's not 800. It was about to be. It's an extension. Today's the first day that it really cracked over that. So usually you give them a couple days to see if they can do an extension. Like I say extension, so extend over that first earnings press. And today, actually, it did. So did Arista, by the way. We want to see this follow through tomorrow. I think today's a bit of a trappy. I say trappy day because it's that first. So today's CPI number was released. Not number. The release was really the first day that the week started for me. So follow through tomorrow is important, right? Meta is like, it's that same exact NVIDIA moment where it's like you were trying, you want to see that follow through tomorrow early. You don't want to get caught in a pullback on Meta. It looks good, right? And so this is Meta. You don't want to get caught in this thinking that like, oh, you can lever up on Meta because all of a sudden you're going to get pushed through, right? It's still possible that you have some kind of look above and then fail. But so this 790 is important. Meta has this really weird tendency to have a very strong open. And by the end of the day, look completely different. So it can look very good. I think your target is 812. I think this has a date with 800. It's very possible tomorrow morning. Quite frankly, Microsoft looks very similar. It can come right back because Meta moves like this. But again, just like the NVIDIA type chart, you want that pullback to look good and hold over 785s. And then if it does pull back, you want that next high to actually break through and make a new high. So it's important that the next press here extends over whatever tomorrow morning's high is, assuming that tomorrow morning is a new high. And in that case, you can continue to the upside. What's also crucial is that you don't breach and fail below. That would be no good. So these are pathing potentials and possible trade potentials. Each one of these from a trading perspective is a trade, right? So, even this little breach, that would be a trade. This is each one of these little arrows, quite frankly, is from a day trader's perspective, is a trade path. So you could take calls, puts, calls. But yeah, these are all solid potential paths that Meta could take. I think the broader trajectory here, though, is to the upside, and assuming that this here is this extension from the existing earnings consolidation. This right here. If you want to don't fight the trend, it's 825 right here and potentially into 850s.
Okay. Is there any TA you could do on BMNR, or you don't think it's worth it?
There actually is. So BMNR, yeah. At this point, both BMNR and SBET, I think, have enough volume here. So both of them had it. So before, when it was just this one blip, no, right? Like when there's just this, no, for sure. But we have something here. It is squeezy. So we can just, there's not a lot, but we can just go measured move by measured move. There's enough, at least in these next 2 days. So from here to here, this pullback, again, it's Monday. I'm sorry. Why did I say it's Monday? It's not Monday. Today's Tuesday. So this pullback, so just day to day. So we do have actual SMAs. These two are pulling back. We can look at this base here. And I had this as my kind of like line in the sand initially, this 38. When BMNR broke down below this 38, I was like, okay, this is no good. But the moment that it actually reclaimed, that happened to be a reclaim of the 28 or of the 20-day SMA. Yeah, it held this 50-day, but I don't think that that's going to be a big thing. This moment here, this 38 was a big break back up through that this order block right here. So the biggest thing that we can use is this, because we have this baseline here of 38. I think we can actually use this entire consolidation raise, like they did what did they do? They did a raise, right? I said liquidation. They did a capital raise, which I believe is what pushed this.
And they just filed for $20 billion today, bro. Like, did you hear
filed for another $20 billion?
$20 billion, bro.
They filed for $20 billion.
Yeah, and eventually that's going to be dumped on shareholders. I don't know when, but eventually.
Okay, so you know it's coming then.
Yes.
So maybe that puts so probably Saturday.
I mean, Friday after hours is possible. You never know.
Probably.
It could be next month too. Maybe maybe they wait.
No. It's Saturday. I'm all no, it's Saturday, dude. So
maybe.
Yeah. So anyways, I think you can still take this little blip here. Happens to be $70, right? If you can get over the 70 So yeah, there's TA. So this is our consolidation here. I mean, if you can get through that, and I'm not going to use this area right here because that I think is it's just basically a liquidity grab. I would use this area as its own, and we've actually gone through that. So at this point, I think you have to use just this consolidation in its own right, which would take you, if it does get through, you'd kind of have this kind of trajectory and a bit of a flag that would break and have into the 80s. So that would be the pathing, which means that you would have some kind of consolidation like that. Does that happen into Friday and then you get your raise? It's possible. 30 is going to be your big support, which is pretty far down. So that means that from here, this is your breakout to that resistance level. 50 is actually going to be your support. And this is important for right now. If you do get that pullback from this breakout here, today's low 54 happens to be a 50% retracement. This is your, for my guys, golden pocket. Not golden zone, golden pocket, it's different. And you pull this across, this is going to line up here. And this 38 level we've already dealt with. So what this means from a TA perspective, and this is new chart, so you do spend a little bit more time dissecting. 63 is your major pivot level. That's probably going to be that consolidation. You're not in a breakout until you're over 70. Over 70, you see 80, then 85. Cool, but not until then. That's your breakout level. Until then, you're in this consolidation, ideally high and tight, pullbacks to 54, bigger pullbacks to 50. You break 50, you absolutely see 40s again. That's how that's going to go.
Can we follow up with Ethereum then and see?
Yeah. So Ethereum different, right? So I don't know if you remember MSTR and Bitcoin. So one didn't always go with the other. Sometimes one ran before the other. Sometimes one ran without the other. Ethereum has been a more or less dead asset class for quite a while. And I just did this more recently on, I think it was my stream. Oddly enough, Ethereum was breaking down, meaning that this is a weekly chart. This consolidation on Ethereum, it was pretty much donezo. Like here was the large consolidation on ETH. This was a massive consolidation. And this area here, was full-blown breakdown. This 1400 happens to be way back when, Jan 18. By the way, is that funny? Like I was charting this, $320, my last buy. Anyways, happened
2017? No, 2018, right?
Yeah.
Wow. I was a sophomore in college.
My last legit buy was like 150. But this wick happens to be 2018 high. Boom. Or 2018 high. So from the breakdown out of this consolidation, if you were long in here, that's solid. But if you didn't have this kind of level, it's like, sorry, that was this guy. And you are in to here. You're up over, and now I have a couple different lines in here. So this breakdown through and out happens to get held up, boom, right at 2018 high. And then you retest the bottom of that trend line, which for all intents and purposes, normally would have been and started to be like a reshort right there. Started to break down again. And I think all in this timeline, which is April, I think Tom Lee, somewhere in this area, it started to go down. The stablecoin thesis and all of that started happening. This breakdown and that thesis getting like traction, I think created that, just like Bitcoin, that failed breakdown where it created that opportunity where, because this was a legitimate breakdown, it created that entry that actually like exploded this. And you have the same setup that we were just outlining on Tesla, like the historical SOFI, et cetera, where what are we looking at here? We're looking at those SMAs that are extremely tight, squeeze, extremely tight. And this one has just been so dormant for so long. It doesn't have to come back in, doesn't have to rest. Would it be healthy for it to? I do think it would be healthy. And a healthy pullback would actually look like something like that. But I don't actually think that needs to happen. And that would be around 36s, somewhere in here.
So you think end
So
of
in the
year it
meantime-
breaks out above this 5 range, or how are you? 5K
So
range?
I think you have to take it for a longer term view. So because it's starting as a breakdown, because it's starting as a failed breakdown, who's come back into range, and not only just come back into range, has actually officially legitimately broken out. This breakout and this consolidation, I'm going to get there, takes you to 5,500 plus on just this range here. I don't know where the audience has their targets. I don't know that I would take this full range, but probably just this one. If you take this full blown swing, I because the thesis doesn't really start there. There are two things lining me up to around 68. But if this goes, that's your full kind of target. That's 55. At 50, let me zoom in so you can see this. So at 55, what kind of has to happen? Make this a little bit like. Are they okay with me taking a little bit more time?
Yeah, that's good.
Is that like you can squeeze through here because it's been so long. So it's 55 here. So now that I'm zoomed in, I just needed you to know where the lines came from because we don't need all that major context. So I think this can squeeze this way, and this is 54.68. If this continues on, you have this next level and then possibly up here. At that point, like you'll probably get some chop and possibly chop into here. You might get some back and forth, but it's really this 54, like 54.5 area that really has to hold. If you don't, like, it's this, like you can get a squeeze, right? At that point, you have to have some kind of, to say, okay, you're going to get in here. There's going to have to be some kind of other macro, whatever.
Well, the ETFs are helping too with $1 billion a day.
Yeah, the ETFs and the Tom Lees are helping. But so this is what you'd want to be aware of. Something like that. And it's crypto, right? So we'll probably have to use like our Bart Simpson patterns, which would be like the iCarambas, right? That's what they look like. So the Bart Simpson patterns look like a very extended flat top with a little bit of that look above and fail at the end. and then a straight shot down. And I mean straight shot as in like this happens overnight, poof. Because crypto is the rawest form of supply and demand that there is. There's no circuit breakers to stop you in either direction. It's just like, do not pass go, do not collect $200, don't go directly to jail. It's like, and it just 24/7, 365 market.
Okay. Well, that's what we got on Ethereum. I think we will enter into rapid fire and we'll try to get done with another 15 to 20 tickers and then we can get Jason out of here. For those that have not followed Jason, this is his Twitter. I'm also linking his YouTube. He has a Discord. You can check out all of his private links in his description. He's building out a new HQ as well. So he is leveling up all the content he's putting out. So you can
the content is going to be a big deal. I like this stuff, for our group, trades come and trades go. But I think it's all about to what you do, to what we do. It's all about education, right? That's what it's about at the end of the day. Trades are nice. We do well. But at the end of the day, it's not my success, our success as content creators, as groups, as communities it's very much about, we're not successful unless you guys are successful. So yeah, it's all about education at the end of the day.
All right, so we'll try to keep it to about 2 to 3 minutes a ticker. Rapid fire, let's get into it. TTD, what do you think?
Dude, decimated. Again. Can you believe it? Well, you can.
2 times in a year, 40% drops. Wild.
I don't know if it's, all the nonsense about like, is Amazon a competitor or not?
Well, from the equity reports I read, the analysts are not happy with the guidance. So I'm not touching it. I imagine you're not taking a gander. Maybe you are. Are you touching it here?
I sold some $70 put spreads before earnings because it was going to pay me down to like 65. Dude, I was like $1 away from being green or $5 away from being green. I was like, can I just get like $5 more this way? And it went $5 that way. I went red. Luckily, I legged out, which is a trading term, and I was able to like almost get. I could be green on it, but I was like, I'm not going to deal with this anymore. So I'm like, nope, full ripcord, small red. So you have to give it more time. I don't think it's gonna be this week. This one is taking some serious time to digest. It is at an interesting spot. Very interesting spot. It will probably come back to life, but it's probably going to take, I would give this like 2 weeks. I wouldn't even look at it this month, quite frankly. If there was a level I would say to watch, it's going to be this very little teeny tiny wick at 57.66. Over that, cool. You can start looking, but you have to go in the way back machine, not the recent back machine. It's going to be like 57 and then barely like 60. And then eventually a pop could maybe get you to 65. And then if you can actually get over 65, all right, well, then we can have a real conversation. But
right.
that trajectory can be like this. And it might be a slow roll because even then, this time, this poop show never recovered. So this is post earnings, just so you know. This is post earnings 33%. Post the 33% decimation, there was yet another 45% downside the last time this happened. And it didn't recover until about 3 weeks before their earnings, about 30 days before their following earnings.
Okay, 30 seconds.
Done.
UNH.
I know it popped today. I just don't know if it's real. It is just not going down. So failed breakdown. It was breaking down. It saved itself. All right. So over 250. This is what we would call a little liquidity grab. Look below and fail. If you get a higher low, okay, fine. At this point, this looks better. I need to change my settings. Yikes. Whoa, 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 whoa. I don't know what just happened here.
Where did it close?
My computer is freaking out. Give me 1 second.
We closed UNH at 262 or 261. It's not too bad.
Yeah, but
yeah, we'll do Lilly as well. I mean, the CEO buying shares today definitely is bullish after hours.
well, it's
But again,
It's
it's healthcare, as you said. Yeah.
it's the it's the what season where they do the filings?
13. Well, but he's buying out
13
the money,
season.
you know?
Huh?
He's just buying it straight out. It's not like it's a pre-planned buy or anything.
Yeah, that's good. Wow. All right, so weekly low 233. Yeah, this looks like this stopped going down. So I don't actually care that it is below the 20-day. It's at 250 that, sorry, I have to go back and put these back to where they were. But because this was the box from our technical sessions, it reclaimed back over here, which is actually really interesting.
So you think there's some uptrend to it potentially? But more time.
It stopped going down so far.
Yeah, this thing was at 237 last week. So
Well, the fact that it came back into range is, yeah. Okay, so that quarterly low is 250, and you're back in the monthly range. Yeah, so you're back in for sure. So you're 278. You're not going up. You have a chance to retrace to the 50-day 287. So you are looking like this, meaning that 253, some kind of trajectory like so, but that is it.
okay. Intel. This has been a great trading stock all year.
What?
Yeah, it's been stuck within a range all year. At least a day trading stock, not an option trading stock. You can buy at 20, sell at 21, buy puts at 22, exit at 20. I mean, the entire year it's been stuck in this range.
You mean like selling straddles?
No, I mean buying shares in the morning, selling it towards the afternoon, or vice versa.
Wow, I've never done that.
Well, you don't day trade with like shares. You swing trade options, right?
I do.
I mean, I don't do that either. I'm just saying this thing has been range bound.
I know, you just trade earnings. Equity.
I,
He scalps earnings.
well, I haven't gambled since what's the last? I think we did Netflix. We gambled a little bit on that. Do you think there's any momentum in this team?
Oh, there's momentum, dude, for sure. Lip Bhutan, it's news. It's very news driven, dude. Very news driven. It's extremely news driven right now. So, it's got the same setup as a lot of the stuff we've been talking about. It's just, the thing is that the price is literally sitting on it, so it could go either way right now. It looks like it's coming out of a base. But I would still cautiously optimistic. You don't have any clarity just yet, but it's pretty deep. Deep as in like it's very low.
Okay. Duolingo.
Duolingo.
I don't know if this one's caught your attention, but they jumped 40% on earnings and they're back down 35%. it's been pretty. Joseph Carlson, big YouTuber, he said he's buying. I have it in my stock draft portfolio. I don't personally own it, but it's ugly.
So GPT-5 is taking this one down too?
I guess so. Like,
dude, this looks like ServiceNow.
Yeah, it does.
Wowzers. Yeah, you gotta let the dust settle here. You gotta let the dust settle. So many stocks just like this. It's like they report earnings, and then it's for whatever reason they're just like they don't have a reason to get back into the stock because there's no catalyst, and so it comes all the way back down to 278, 275. So it's either 275 or it gets back over 340.
Okay. Let's do Apple. Breakout to 230, which has been nice to see.
So this is like core now for me. Not like it wasn't before, but I think heavier than Google. The last time we were here, I was looking for 215 to break sooner. And when 215 broke, it would be straight to 220. It didn't break on earnings. It was way beyond earnings, way after earnings. So here's earnings, ends up selling off, goes back into 200s. And then when 215 eventually did break, boom, straight through. Happens to be on some on Tim doing his thing. So finally out of the trade war zone. That's what this big white box is. Out of the trade war zone, out of the muck, out of the downtrend, out of all downtrends, over the 200-day simple. Did you know this has only been so since? And I'm going to take all these boxes off. Taking a little extra time because this is important. And every day since the move, this is how many days is this? This is what? 1. So this is 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and now we're on day 5, right? So so 5 days. 5 days from here. That was Wednesday so I think that this has it's gotten the bad out of it. I don't think there's anything really good priced into it. But if I look into this price action, so these lines, by the way, these are monthly highs, these are quarterly highs. 225 is a quarterly high, happens to also be the trade war zone. So 225, this little blip of a retest on Monday, that's the trade war zone. That was the first retest, instantly bought. I'm going to do something here. So every morning, Amit is secretly buying as much Apple as he can for the last, how many days? 1, 2, 3, 4, count it, 5 days. Every morning, Amit has gone in and full ported Apple. 1, 2. They were telling us that all of the Apple was going to sell off this $3 trillion market cap stock was a sell, and that every morning and that every day it was just going to give it all back. I've yet to see it give it back. And every morning somebody's coming in and buying it up, and the low is locked in every single morning. Maybe it goes down someday, but I don't know. But something is seriously changing here. I'm very upset that I'm not getting a legitimate dip to buy here to add. If I did, I'll tell you what, it's at 215 because we know that the big break from a technical perspective was right here. And the move that happened from here to here, it was just so crazy fast that it just didn't leave anybody any opportunity to buy anything other than like, okay, well, I just have to buy first thing in the morning. And that's essentially what they've had to resort to every morning since. Even this little blip here, that was after hours. That was after hours on the first 5% day. Today is the first day it actually didn't make a new high, but it's still closing high tight at the consolidation. So maybe since I don't know, this holding 225, that was the trade war zone, like high. As long as it's holding 225, for sure, this is not coming down. But if we do lose 225, God, I hope I get some kind of a dip buy. Maybe it looks ugly. 212s would be like really ideal. But again, the same setup where at least I have these 20 and 50-day SMAs down here. These are going to start to expand the distance between them very quickly. And as that expands and this expands here, that's by 20, you're going to get a cross through, the 200, which is hanging out right about there. The whole situation, if you go through, the whole situation is going to look super familiar to everything else. And they're probably going to be talking smack. I say they, I don't know. The market, people are probably going to be hating on Apple the whole time. I don't know. Maybe we get a new color
On the iPhone?
Yeah.
Well, look, at the end of the day, it's a $3 trillion company, so it's hard to.
At the end of the day, it's a $3 trillion company. That's the lowest out there. But quite frankly, dude, it's also the most de-risked. They're coming after SaaS companies. They're not coming after Apple right now. I think it actually was under-owned from an institutional perspective, honestly. And if there's gonna be anything that happens, like, I don't think that they're gonna want to miss out. So, like, is there a lot of risk here? There's really not a lot of risk to owning Apple here, in my opinion. Yeah, it's 15% in a few days, but like the 13%, quite frankly, there's probably more risk in a lot of other stocks.
All right, Salesforce.
I know that's just my 2 cents. And there's catalyst still to come. Maybe Dan Ives is right and they buy Perplexity. Is it Perplexity? Perplexity.
Yeah, that is the rumored buyout. Salesforce, what do you think? CRM. This one's been
Dude, CRM is just getting hit. It's like, I think ServiceNow is like there. It's at the 200 weeks SMA at 256. You got to trash it, right? It's just donezo. I took a shot here, but at 256 we had to dump it. Couldn't make a new high here. Actually, that's, I think, where it was like, oh, a warning sign. But this is one where no, it didn't work out. Can't win them all. No more shots on goal here. I think this is getting hit. And I think that it's just like, look, it's in a bad spot where the sector as a whole, maybe the thing is, like, maybe it's down there, right? Maybe it bounces, but I don't know, right? Like, it's interesting. No question. Is it interesting? But I got to watch it. Is it today? I don't know if it's today or not. It's an interesting spot. Do I want to take a shot at it? Not yet. This guy does move a lot on earnings. I think that Salesforce is going to be one where it probably makes all the move on earnings itself at this point. And this will probably be the stock that decides whether or not the software sector survives. Like, either Benioff proves the entire SaaS move sell-off as fake news and, like, wrong, or they were right to sell it off. That's September 3rd. So for right now, I think so weekly now you have a pretty not so good setup. But it is right into it's right into support, but that doesn't matter, right? Like, so this is looking extended downside. The purple line is a 200-week simple moving average, which really doesn't come into play that often. Below 256, that's again why this has to go at 250, 250 or whatever. That whole consolidation just breaks down at that point. And we know it's going lower. Where to lower? Well, actually just to right here lower. So at that point, you need to see a reversal set up, and I don't have one. I don't have one yet. So yeah, it breached liquidity today. I don't know. I have to see. I have to wait for a setup here. I think if you went short up here, cool. Good job. And downside target acquired at this point does not mean it's an upside trade yet. It's just a no touch and wait for something else to come around or move on to the next one. You don't have to make your money back on a trade that I don't have to make my money back on a trade that I lost. And I did lose money on this one, on this last trade.
Okay. Coinbase.
Coin, I actually like. So Coin, I took a shot long on this one recently, and I have a little bit left over. Super interesting spot. Like really interesting spot. This little blip, this little dash line here, I'm at 293. If I take it all the way across and I can extend it. How come my shift key is not working? I extend it even further. This is one of those spots where you're like, really, really. And I'll just do maybe just a straight across horizontal line. Weekly. Like from inception. You're like, interesting. All of this. And then you drop it in even lower. It's like you could see a lot of stuff happening here. This red line. So my lines on here, everything has a meaning, whether or not it makes sense. So this is, I use quarterly candles. Also, it's a quarterly high. So quarterly candles is like a 3-month high, 3-month low. That's the quarterly candle right here within that box. From, I think it was from here to here. Was it here? Oh no. One of these. I have to pull up my trade.
This thing was ugly from 440 down to here, but it broke out. This was after the S&P 500 stuff too. But also, I forgot they did an offering. So
they did?
Yeah, it's a convertible for like $2 billion. Which then hit it as well.
I'm just pulling up so I just took this trade. All right, I took this from April.
The White House just tweeted a picture about why Trump should get the Nobel Peace Prize.
This is what, dude, I don't know why TradingView is doing this to me.
Dude, I mean, he's been endorsed by like 7 world leaders to get it. So
okay,
maybe.
I'm back. Okay, so that white line that I just put across, we saw the confluence there, happened to be a weekly low, and then from this April quarterly low here, from the quarterly low to that swing high of April to 9150 also happens to be that 50% retrace, meaning like from here to here, back down to here, this was a 50% move of that. Does that make sense? So this pullback was 50% of that move measured. And so I actually took it on this day as in like yesterday.
So you like Coinbase here at these levels?
Yeah. So I try to say I took it this day for this type of move, and I got the first extension, the first for a small move to 335, and quick targets here. So this yellow box is the monthly candle. So this is last month. This is July lows. So at this point, so we have first move, cool. What I needed to see is some kind of extension over the monthly 335 to confirm an extension into 380s. So at this point, it's still possible. I have a small position, but I will actually add or roll basically I would have a new trade initiate at this point. Like so, like if I can get a move over, really it's going to be 325, maybe even a little bit higher. That'll confirm over 335, or really this little blip, last month's low. If we can get over last month's low, closing and opening, maybe it's next week, but if we can get back over 335, if Coinbase can get back over 335, then you have a clean move into 380, which is $50, and very likely in short order. If you can clear through that, then you actually have a pretty decent shot. Oh yeah, you got to do this. You have a decent shot of getting through here, but this pathing has to look like this and hold like that. At any point though, like when I map out a trade like this, if you happen to fail a level, like pull back and fail a level, you have to understand that, like from a trading perspective, if you lose a level, you gotta be ready to pull a ripcord, because you can just quickly retrace an entire level, especially if some of your levels have large spaces in between. Like we look for these because a move like this, what do I have here? A move like this, I might need to put something in between because I have a 350. That's probably going to line up to a 20-day. So I might have to put a target inside here. Yeah, a move like this might have a big a gap, but there's this move that would be a very quick one. Possibly this move. We know definitely that one. Each one of these could be a pretty quick intraday whoosh kind of move. But if you lose one, from a trading perspective, you can go either way. Meaning like it can become a short. And if you lose more than one, it can get kind of dangerous very quickly. So like for instance, right here, right now, yes, this looks good, but you're on a very thin shelf. So like tomorrow, if this does not continue higher, well, it's very easy for this to pull right back into 300. And if it doesn't continue back through, well, you could easily see that. So it's kind of on thin ice right now, but it has to get over 335. And if it can, well, cool. You have a very quick move back to the upside.
Okay, Palo Alto. Thoughts on that one?
Oh, this looks great. So I posted something. I say that great. Looks great. I posted something the other day. So like Palo Alto, like for whatever reason, Palo Alto and Fortinet, FT&T get like clumped together. They're not in the same class. Like Wall Street reads a Fortinet because they're direct competitors. They're just not even. They're probably going to. Does anybody work for? I don't know.
Palo Alto is much more established than Fortinet. So, agreed.
Actually, Fortinet's been around longer than Palo Alto.
Yeah, Palo Alto's, they do way more revenue.
Right. So there's nothing really. Palo Alto was a disruptor. When it entered the space, Fortinet was there first, but Palo Alto was the original disruptor in network security, the original disruptor. and they've continued to disrupt for a while, but to a point where they've had to disrupt almost by acquisition because they are so saturated, right? But Fortinet has not been able to do that, like, at all. Sorry, they used to sell this stuff, and it's good stuff, but it would be like, you can't afford Palo Alto? Let me show you Fortinet. Like, okay. So they're never going to be in the same league. They're just not. And sorry if I ever sold Palo Alto. That's not actually how it went down. Of course, we sold your product. Sorry. Anyways, damn, I probably just got burned so many times right there. But yeah, Palo Alto, it got hit by Fortinet because Wall Street thinks they're the same because they are direct competitors. They're not, guys. But it did have a big breakout today ahead of earnings. Are they going to continue higher? I think you can expect this bounce for sure. Does it like continue? I think that's TBD. And then you're really going to have like okay, show me story because you're going to have earnings next week, right? So right here, right now, for sure, they're cheap because they got hit on the Fortinet headlines. Then I think Wall Street comes to their senses and says, oh, they're actually, in fact, not Fortinet. And maybe just because Fortinet had a bad quarter doesn't mean that Palo Alto is going to have a bad quarter. And maybe this was a little bit overdone. And so it rallies a bit. I think you see 82s, 182s, maybe even 185s, just under that 20-day simple by the end of the week. But then you have earnings and it becomes a show me story after that. So I think that's what you can expect ahead of earnings. So, which means you have a few more dollars from here, possibly into 185s, but again, I think it is cheap here ahead of earnings. I do think that this was a bit overdone, but it's going to be a show me story for me. I did take what's the word? Take advantage of the dip here because I have trimmed a bit. I do acknowledge that Palo Alto may be fairly saturated from a market cap perspective, not cap, but like from a market perspective, and that a lot of the growth is currently having to be done by acquisition, but they're doing a good job with that. But they are the best of breed, and dude, it's not. Yeah, the only other competitor someone mentioned in the chat is Zscaler. That would be that's the other one. Zscaler is like the newer, actually, like Zscaler and Palo Alto, very, very real competitors. But I don't think Zscaler is more of a newer entrant, maybe a little bit more cloud-based, but.
Okay, Amazon.
Amazon still is sideways right now. It's stuck. I'm not a big fan of Amazon here now. No. I think you have to wait for this to I think you have to wait for this to break out over. I don't like Amazon here. It's definitely not. It could be a short, it could be a long. It could be a lot of things. I think you have to let this one breathe. It's stuck at like a critical pivot under a lot of different levels, specifically 280, 224, trapped in between that 20 and 50-day simple right here. And a lot of consolidation, having just had kind of like a pretty disappointing reaction on earnings. A 50% retracement of this, I think, goes right back to 227 at best, but I don't know if you actually see that during the New York session or not. And that might just be a blip on the radar. I think that this is more sideways than anything. I would steer clear, at least for this week, and then see how it digests next week.
Okay. CrowdStrike.
Okay. So if we do CrowdStrike has been patient zero short for a while. Patient zero short has been like, so this happened July 10th. This was the first short of the market on this triple top, if you will. If you were going to take a short in the market, it would have been CrowdStrike as your patient zero case study. It was looking like a breakout from the beginning, all-time highs first. And then it failed to continue, and it just went from 510. It dropped $100. Did you know it dropped $100? Probably not. In 30 days. It dropped $100 in 30 days. That's a lot of dollars. 20% off the highs. I think that 400 was like where I thought it was going. It's about 420. It's probably good enough for government work at this point, but I'm not so sure. I also am going to steer clear. I'm not short the name. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, but I would late to the game here. I think I'm just going to steer clear of this. I don't want to go long because you're coming right back into resistance. I definitely don't want to go long this. It's not in the good. It's not, no. I don't want to, I don't like this. I think you have to wait till post earnings.
I agree.
I don't like this at all. This was a short from day one, July. And it's down 20% from early July. This is my patient zero case study. Just like Coinbase was my patient zero coins study to go long. This is my patient zero case study if you were to go short. It's like that first, like looking to break out through the quarterly high and then look above. This is exactly that. Look above and fail, losing the 20, quickly losing the 50, then losing the monthly. See these yellow lines? I'll actually just make this simple. Losing the monthly low, your entire monthly candle is now below the prior month so far. So from a monthly perspective, candle to candle, like this is just not going up, not until it's over 450. So this candle is just monthly, it's just going down. So I have to steer clear until either I see 400 or it gets back over 460. One of these two things happen. So either I see 400, which may be post earnings, or I'm back over 450. But in here, neither of those scenarios are true.
Okay. Unity Ader is up 150,000 on this one.
Congrats, dude. Ooh, 37, baby. I did not see that today out of nowhere. Nice little like follow through. This thing is so squeezy, dude.
What? Oh, let me check their short float. Unity short float as of July 31st is
1,000,000%.
10%. It's a decent amount.
I guess I gotta ask what my thesis here was like, okay, it could have been a double from the lows, but I think you are a double from the lows. So I would be mostly done.
AKA
I am done.
L? That's what, or like you're thinking it's.
Oh, no. We just got to go. Yeah, you just go one at a time. People are in stocks for their own reasons, right? So like, and this is just technicals. So technical Tuesday, consolidation. Here was the break. Here, 33 or 30. Either somebody's really paying attention, because I'll tell you what, I was not. And I did not see that $30 retest on earnings, because holy moly, that was like to the penny.
Yeah, literally to the penny.
I did not notice that. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days ago. Yikes. And it's just kind of like gotten bought up since then. And then today, what a sleeper out of nowhere. Because I don't even think there was headlines here. out of nowhere, this thing just like charges towards the highs. So in these instances, like, yeah, you have to crack 39, like meaning like you have to really break through 39. But here's your extension. So 44.5 and then potentially 48. So yeah, you're looking for the big 5-0. Maybe you get a little bit short, but that would be your next extension on this guy, which means that like you could get this potential. And then if you can hold through, then you're looking for that. But remember, like all of these are nice to have. Every time that you have one of these, you always have to be very cautious of those look above and fail kind of moments. So like if this is your breakout here, it's important to confirm this. Is what you don't want to see is you don't want to see that. It doesn't mean that it's like, oh, we're going back. It just means that like right now you're not going up, but you are going back to this lower level of consolidation, which depending on your time horizon, which depending on how you're trading or investing could mean expiration. You may not have that convenience to sit in something and wait for a retest of 34 and then potentially another like full consolidation, like an attempt.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
So this is what you'd want to see.
Oscar.
Why couldn't it just be Oscar, dude? Why couldn't Oscar be like the next Rocket Lab, brother?
Dude, it tried. It really tried.
It really did.
And
it
then
really
that
did.
big Bill said nope.
And then you didn't buy it again.
I didn't. I did not. I still don't understand the healthcare industry, dude. Like,
you know,
a lot to understand.
Is it a 2028 thing?
What do you mean?
2027? Can we just do Zeta instead?
You're gonna piss off the Oscar people. It's up to you.
I mean,
it's up to you. You want them to hate you? You can.
No. It's so Oscar. No change since the last time we looked at the chart. It's still as close to 14 or below as you can. The base is still there. Literally nothing's changed from the chart, but also nothing's changed from the sentiment in terms of like if you like it, then you like it long time.
Okay. I mean, I agree. I think if you like it, you have to like it long term.
No, we said long time.
No, I get it, but both, right? Like you have to like it for the long term, which
Yeah.
is it's a healthcare stock. It should be a long term. But
Yeah.
Zeta's been fun the past couple of weeks.
Is it? Yeah. Also, though, if you like it, you should like it long time, not short time. But also, I think better performing, especially after this earnings. Are you doing some DD here or no?
No, I haven't. But my friend Davis, he is excited about this. I haven't looked at it.
I don't know, Davis.
He's not really a creator, but he's on X and he's early pound here. But I've read his DD. I'm not super I haven't actually done my own DD, but the growth is there and marketing, advertising, analytics. It looks like they're winning in that space to an extent. They're a small company, and it has a big retail following as well.
Yeah. I mean, I have an extension here. So it's iffy. It's iffy. Yeah, you got to get over 19. It's very iffy. I wonder how diamond-handed this investor base is, because I really want to see that hold over 19.
Okay. Let's do Lululemon, but before that, I want to play a video from friend of the channel, Dumb Money, and his thoughts on Lululemon.
I doubled down on Lululemon and lost $200,000. But do you know what I did? I then took another $200,000 and bought more Lululemon call. So I'm I'm back, baby. If you look, Lulu's trading at like 13 PE. The stock is down like 65%. And I am seeing a lot of tailwinds in the product mix. There's jackets. The jacket's really hot. In fact, there's a tote bag in a like light color, and it's going viral on TikTok, and people are freaking out. This is going to be the tote bag of the fall. I'm telling you guys, it's just a new colorway, but people love it. Honestly, like there are tailwinds in the product mix that I like. If you were to go on Google Trends and simply type in Lululemon 5-year chart, you will see the biggest pop you've ever seen in summertime. We never see a pop in search traffic for Lululemon during the summer. It never happens. It's astonishing. I doubled down.
What are you thinking about Lulu?
I will be, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Open-minded and objective.
Okay. It is cheap. I mean, 13 times, but they said they have issues with
can't do Lulu because the guy named it Lulu because he was racist against Japanese people. And I'm half Japanese. So,
that's a real story, or is that
that's totally real, dude. You need to look it up.
No, I think you told me about it a while ago, but I never.
And he was fired. But so I guess he doesn't work there anymore. But it is real. Anyways, I'm looking at this. Why can't he just wait till 165?
Because he already lost 200 grand. He needs to make his money back.
But he didn't lose it if he didn't sell.
No, they were calls. They were short term. Dude, Chris does these crazy short term calls. But he thinks the fall. I don't know what his new expiration.
No, because you could use the same logic on Yeti for that. Didn't Yeti have like a really cool bag?
Yes, they did. Yeah.
How did that work out for Yeti? I legitimately don't know.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's a fair point.
No, I actually don't know. Did it work out or not?
Well, let's see. I didn't look at their stock recently. Yeti. I know Chris likes this one too. I mean, year to date, it's done well. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. It's been flat year to date. And it got hit from 40 to 33. It's back. Yeah, it was up a little bit today. Yeah, it didn't work out the best, at least so far.
If I'm going to do a fashion, you know what stock in this sector is like, I feel like is like super value. VF.
Wait, it's a clothing stock?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone in the chat guess. No, don't say. Oh, never mind. You said it already. We saw VFC. Yes, you told me about this one a while ago. I was gonna guess Abercrombie.
No, dude, VFC is like for sure the deepest value.
I agree.
That's crazy. I mean, that or Victoria's Secret. But anyways, let me just go. So there's a little. It's only because it's got earnings coming. I don't think that you could really hold it through. So you're gonna get a pop on Lululemon, which is how it's properly pronounced, because Japanese people can't pronounce their L's. They sound them out like R's, which is why it's called Lululemon. So, you know.
Remember when I thought you were Korean?
Oh yeah.
That was so funny. You were in the chat. You're like, I'm not Korean. I was like, wait a second. I thought you were.
I do a little something here.
At least I didn't say Chinese. At least I didn't say that.
All right. Something I never really do. So you know how I hate RSI. I'm like, hey, if there was ever an indicator that I don't use, God.
Wait, so all right, are you buying before earnings? That's my question.
Absolutely not.
Why?
Because it's not a good stock.
But it's cheap.
Cheap get cheaper.
Is it unnecessarily cheap is the question.
No. Here, I'm going to give you one positive. Let me do it. So this is a weekly chart of RSI. This is called divergence. So when the stock makes a lower, so this is RSI. RSI is making a higher low, compared to the stock. So the stock itself, this is your one saving grace. The only time you can actually use RSI, the only thing it's actually relevant. This is RSI here. This is called divergence. So you have a weekly RSI divergence. I'm going to assume that you have a daily RSI divergence. And in fact, you do not. I tried. I really tried. So RSI is getting lower. I really tried here, bud. Maybe. So like you have equal lows on RSI. You definitely have lower lows on the chart itself. So all to say that you're very likely going to get a pre-earnings pop that could be somewhat substantial. How's that? Somewhat substantial.
I think
in the next few days from right now.
Down 65%. They say anything good about tariffs not being as bad. I think it pops on earnings.
Yeah.
And the RSIs you're talking about.
But that's the question is it sustained?
I don't know about that.
Exactly. So I guess that's my point, right? So from here to here, I think, you're looking at 205 and then at most 220. You're looking at a big pop 220. That's what that is. So 205 here to here, that is that's 50% of last week's range. This is last week's range. That's just 1 week. So you can get like a halfway retrace of last week's range. And that's actually gonna line up about with the 20-day simple. It's gonna be about right there. That will align with some kind of a flip here from your divergence perspective, because this has already come down and you are to me looking like you're ready to start a pop. You have a failed continuation downside, which is this across that blue line right there. So yeah, to me, you do have a little liquidity grab. The second that you got back over 190, I think that does, from a TA perspective, look, personal sentiment aside, for sure, this actually, this is going to go higher as of today, as long as it can hold over 192. As long as she holds over 192, straight up, you have a trajectory into 206, first stop 203. That's the trade. That's the trade. You have to get over 206, and then maybe you can talk about 220s. That's it. Stop. Done. Target acquired. It's not, and then the pathing has to be, you have to continue one by one by one. It's not like you're gonna just turn around one day and be like, poof, we're all the way back. This is your monthly, unless something completely happens. At the absolute most, this red line here is a quarterly level. Remember I talked about like quarterly candles? So, oops, sorry. I take it back. She shifted on me. It's 220.
Okay. We're going to see on earnings what they can put up.
Maybe 227.
A-Lab and Arista. What do you think about these two?
So I do not hate Lulu for I do not hate Lulu for a bounce. I think a realistic shot, stretch goal 230, and that's probably going to line up with your 50-day SMA. And then it's a real show me story, and that might even be post earnings. So Arista, dude, what a move, by the way. You remember me ranting about Arista, the big rant? If you like AI, if you like this, blah, 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 blah. And I was just going on. I almost felt
Oh, you,
bad.
you called this one. This was about 3 weeks ago. You started really liking this.
It was 95s, and I'm like, this thing. I'm like, this is gonna be a boom ski. If you this. Anyways, how'd I do?
Did decent. 50% is decent. I mean,
Bro.
this and a lot of the data center plays they've taken off. And it's really nice to see because it means that it's validating more of NVIDIA's.
Absolutely. So this is picks and shovels of the picks and shovels. Today's the first day post, and honestly, this thing has just like been nonstop. And this was target acquired fully, and I mean fully. So post earnings, and I'm like, well, okay, where to from here? Because even this consolidation area here, I'm like, we are well into it. And now, see what I'm talking about? We are in uncharted territory. I'm like, okay. And I went, this has just been like, I'll just tell you, dude, this has been a long road for me on Arista. I've actually, anyways. So today's good. Today's a good move. I'm not sure that this is it. All of a sudden, out of nowhere. So here's earnings. Day one gap actually continued on day two. And I'm like, whoa, but it hasn't really done like a big deed to continue on through this little box. And it's tried 1, 2, 3. And then today I'm like, uh-oh, she looks like she's really going to try. So if it can get over 140s as of tomorrow or like through this week, so the next move would this is going to we're going to start talking about 200s on Arista for the next big move, but I'm giving it some time. I see no pullbacks here, which is like, I would really, come on, where's my pullback? Arista, where are you at? And it's just been sideways. So maybe I don't get it. It kind of is what it is. So it's setting up for me now. I think you can take small shots, like a little bit at a time, chip away at it, or just stay the course. If you took some longer dated stuff, just stay the course because she's not coming down for whatever reason. 135 has been like the area that you can kind of nibble away at it. That's the prior all-time high. But yeah, it has not broken down at all. And it's really trying to break out, but I'm not seeing the full continuation of that just yet.
And do you like Astera as well?
Yeah. So Astera has been just, it's been even harder, right? So from an options perspective, so Astera and Arista were both in the same category. Did we not cover this in?
Not today.
Technical Tuesday? Well, this was at the same time, these two trades were doing the exact same thing. And I took these trades around the same time. This must be someone from our group doing the exact same thing around the same time, both at the 50% kind of retracement, both, you recognize this kind of setup with that same exact consolidation right here. These combining factors, 50% retracement. This looks like a Tesla, right? When I say like a multi-month run, this is Tesla 2.0, right? Arista, I go back to Arista. This whole setup, if we were just looking at from here to here, that's Tesla. Oh my God, my screen just froze. This is Tesla here now, right? So fast forward, this is what I'm talking about on Tesla. Anyways, sorry for my rant. So we are it's just going. So it's like, it's very hard because we're not getting any pullbacks. You just really stay the course. But we're looking at 213s, possibly 250s on Astera. But this one's very illiquid, and it's yes. I did you ever talk to Jose?
Yeah, I mean he likes it, but
That's it. That's all you're gonna give us. I mean, dude, come on, Amit.
yeah, he likes it. He thinks they're
I'm
gonna.
very upset with that answer.
He thinks
The
it's
thing
gonna,
is up 300% from the lows after I was ranting at the chat when on DeepSeek day, I said there are two A names. I'm buying Arista and Astera on the DeepSeek nosedive. And these are both up 300% from the lows. And then and you're going to give us, he likes it.
he did not recommend it during the DeepSeek lows, but you did. So that's the difference.
I know, but that's all I can get.
No, it's good. It's done well, dude.
The chat is rogue. I agree.
All right, we got 2 left, and then we're gonna end it out. Actually 3. SMCI, real quick on this one.
Ooh, I mean, so SMCI does me dirty. So you guys, maybe it does you guys better. So $60 that was the target. Ping. There you go. Was there another offering? Oh no, basically though. Earnings pullback. Yeah, once these companies report earnings, though, it's like, why do you, as we go through earning, we're about the end of earnings season. So you kind of, when you have this kind of stuff, this is the same thing with Duolingo, ServiceNow. I think you let the dust settle, and see where things hash out from there. Like, let the dust settle for sure, and see if the interest comes in. Because in the meantime, there are going to be other things. The question is like, why would you jump into SMCI right here, right now? Is there somebody else reporting? Is there something else more interesting? Is SMCI the shiny in the market? Is the shiny thing in the market right now? I don't think so, because Dell's going to report. Do you own SMCI right now, or do you own Dell? Pretty positive you own Dell.
I don't own either, but those earnings on SMCI were disgusting. So
Yeah.
I get it. Now, granted, Dell's margins aren't better either, but SMCI was just
Dell's margins are better because they have many different lines of businesses.
Yeah,
as a corporation.
correct. But yeah, their server business margins are
Right. Servers are servers, right? There's no moat. There's no moat for servers. They're just servers.
okay. Lilly,
Lilly?
Yeah.
All right, Lilly. Oh God. Dude, why do they do this to this stock?
Lilly, Novo, Zepbound, Vigovi, everything has just been in question now. But the insider buying $1 million worth of it today, I like it.
What's his net worth?
That's a good question.
That's a great question.
Lilly CEO net watch it be like 5 billion or some shit. It's
Oh, you can really look that up.
yeah, I mean, Google generative AI search overview saying only 107 million. No, sorry. 350 million. 350. So, I mean, $1 million, it's not like he's worth 17 billion or something. That's a decent buy.
Yeah, it's not a horrible spot either. If I look left, there's a pretty solid consolidation right around 590s. So between these two lines, between 630 and 600, it's decent. I mean, it could still, this is like UNH, but it's not UNH, to be clear. I think it's the question of, do you believe that Lilly, do you believe in Lilly's ability? Do you believe in Lilly's ability to innovate into something new? Like, do you believe in their ability to bounce back? That's the question, right? In the management's ability to bounce back.
Yeah.
If you do, then you buy the stock. Like, can they build a pipeline to bounce back?
Yeah, and again, I just never got excited about the drug business, so I don't know if their pipeline's that exciting. Like, it's a great company. It's one of the top 20 companies on the planet, but you have to really understand their pipeline if you're buying this stock here.
It's all,
or you just trust the insider buying. I mean, it's either one of the other.
Biotech's all about pipelines, right? And like, are you scared of this, or do you think it's like the greatest chart ever, right? Like because UNH looks similar,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Ish, but without the history. Lily's like this is a good looking chart. Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
last one. App Lovin'. Last
App
one.
Lovin'.
Yeah.
Left field. Ooh. I feel like wasn't this down?
Dude, they fell 20% after earnings for no reason, like literally no reason, and then just spiked up. But it stayed there for like a good 20 minutes, roundabout.
Oh, and then the call started?
No, I think the brokers just reported the revenue wrong because I saw 17% revenue growth year over year. It was 77. And maybe the source I looked at was wrong across the board. Because that's a big difference between 17.
Yo, that's a huge difference.
I can't explain why it dropped for like 20 minutes. But Tanner picked some up when it dropped right there, and he's been doing well on it.
On a 77 or 17%.
I mean, that's my conspiracy theory for why it dropped.
Did he know it was reported wrong?
He just likes it, so he just bought the dip as soon as it went down.
As long as it holds 430, you're okay. And then you're 530. I think you're looking like you're gonna continue on. This was looking a little heavy, but then this push kind of like changes that view. Meaning like now this weekly view looks slightly different. Because before this was looking too doopy. And so now with that earnings, this is exactly why earnings will change the chart trajectories like entirely, because this earnings move breaks it out of consolidation. And so like, well, if it does actually break out of consolidation, then he has a $700 stock in his hands.
Right.
Have you seen this one? No, it was.
I've heard of this app. Digital Turbo.
No.
Yeah, I've heard of this one.
No, it wasn't that one. It was a ASP. No, there was another one. APP. I don't know. I thought it was APPS. There was another one that was like it wasn't this.
This is also advertising, though, if I'm not wrong. Apps.
That wasn't this one.
AISP? AISP?
Nah. ASP. No, I don't know what it was. There's another one that sounds like this, but it's like up in the multi-hundreds. That
All right. There you go. That is what we got. ALPS.
APPF.
Oh, APPF.
Appfolio.
I've never heard of this one.
This thing. So this thing was like, you haven't? So the 300 Appfolio. What do these guys do? $9 billion.
Company streamlines and automates real estate management. Okay, this is an advertisement.
Yeah, I saw this go up on earnings too. It was like 260 to kabam 320. Looks like these guys still have to pull back.
Yeah.
Also.
All right. Do you have any trade of the week or any stock people should take a look at that you're excited about at all?
I mean, we covered them. I mean, Google, Apple, Tesla. Tesla is like one where like if it goes, I think it's a multi-month positional thing. But there are key levels and pathing that has to happen. I think we've covered a lot. Palo Alto, I just positioned. Coinbase is still a nice watch. AMD could be back, like could have more gas in the tank. And we covered, right? Like I think that we've hit a lot of stuff. You mentioned before I came on someone going long builders first.
Yeah.
I think last time I was here, I did mention that the home builders could be like the deepest value out there. Look, I think that that's very much still the case. I don't know if we've talked about like some of the mortgage rate plays. Look, we're coming into the next FOMC. We have Jackson Hole coming, but a lot of these rate plays, what is it, Rocket Mortgage? That thing's still actually going. Some of those are still out there, but like home builders still coming out, still going up. The expensive stocks, the NVR that, you know, Mitt makes fun of me for owning, the $8,000 stock is still going up. But Boeing's actually doing better. I think you guys know everything I have for the most part. Everything looks good. Maybe I'm still, if Dan Niles is right, I think it's possible, but we will watch the charts. For now, it could be choppy. I think somewhat limited upside, but which means that I still want to be where some value is, but I'm cautiously optimistic. That's where I'm at.
All right. There you go. Jason's YouTube and Twitter in the chat. I know there's still some
I
tickers.
missed everybody, by the way.
Dude, they miss you. They've been asking for you for 2 weeks straight. So people are happy we got to do this again. If we missed a couple tickers, which I'm sure we have, you can ask Jason on Twitter. He tries to respond to everything he can, but we got through I think almost 55 of them. So
yeah, we went through a lot.
Thank you, Jason, for doing this every week for us. We appreciate it.
A lot too, but I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, there's
It's
YouTube,
fun.
there's Twitter. And
all right, guys. And then soon I might have the other studio is coming. It's just the yin, and it'll be white and black. So
it's right next to you, right? You're building it literally.
Well, it's at the back house. So I can do it. I might have baby paper like more often.
But you're building it for more of a studio to record in. Is that the logic?
It's just so that I can have, like, we can do late night streams, because so the new School of Gains iteration is like, imagine, so we've always been very good at taking someone who, we are the absolute best at taking very good traders and making them world class, the best. But where we've not been that great at in the past has been taking someone who's okay and making them good. Yeah. That's not been our strong suit, right? So this new iteration is like building out all this curriculum. Get this, the next iteration literally begins at what is the stock market. So we're going to have everything cradle to grave. So this means a lot of recording. So it's a whole nother studio, whole lot of live streaming. And it means I'm like all the time. So I wanted something where I could do all of this stuff all the time, but have something at home. Plus, if a Mitt calls and it's 12 p.m. my time, I can just hop in the back house and just flip on the camera and we're good to go.
Right. It's always good to have more space. Like, I mean, now that I'm moving,
yeah,
you can see the value. Just like I can see it personally, just having more space there. So
yeah, for sure. But
all right.
No, it'll be good. There are a lot of reasons, but just being able to not have to drive all the way over here, and just have like multiple places to flip on the camera and be ready to roll.
Dude, your little boy, he's going to be so good at trading. It's going to be, you got to make sure he doesn't get, you know how like parents do something and their kids get rebellious because their parents do it? Like, you got to make sure he doesn't resent trading just because you're an expert at trading. You know?
He's going to do what he wants. All I can tell you, dude, is like literally he's going to do what he wants regardless of what I do. I don't even know. So, yeah, we'll see.
No.
I think my plan is just to support him with whatever it is that he wants to do. He doesn't have to do any of my stuff.
No, that's the right thing to do as a parent. Yeah. But like, if he did become a trader, you wouldn't, I don't think you would hate. Like, if my kids ever become debaters, I would love it, but I don't want them to hate debate because I keep talking about debate. But also, if they become a musician, I would really love it because I sucked at music. But
yeah, you never know. They might be master debaters.
See, this is what they might be good at debate.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Jason.
All right, man. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it, chat. Adios.
Later.
Late.
All right, we are done. 3 hours and 40 minutes in. We're done for the day. Bitcoin hitting 120 as we finish up, and Ethereum, which was breaking 46, she is just below 46, 45.94 on Ethereum. So there you go. I'll be back tomorrow morning. We'll keep going from there. There's nothing else tonight. Tomorrow's Wednesday, right? Yeah, tomorrow. What are the earnings tomorrow? I don't think there's a lot. Earnings tomorrow, Cisco after the bell and D-Local. And then Thursday, likely no close. Just because I have some things to do after hours with the move-in, but we will have the open on Thursday. Unless the movers text me that they're coming in the morning, because they text you a day before and I still haven't gotten the time frame yet. So hopefully it's after the market open. But yeah, most likely not the close. So we got Cisco and D-Local tomorrow, Bitcoin and Ethereum doing their thing. And yeah, it's nice, dude. We're getting some real momentum. S&P closing above 6,400. Very, very nice to see. 642.69 on the close, 642.54 after hours. And all of this without NVIDIA really doing much today, which is, it's just great to see that breadth expanding in the market. And it's very nice to see that as well. So there you go. Trump is not live. We'll probably be live tomorrow. I'm not married. I don't have kids. It's not my birthday. But I appreciate all the comments. Likely filming from the new apartment at the end of August, early September. So, dude, you guys are wild about this dentist, bro. No, they're not invited to the Miami meetup, dude. You guys are crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'll see how interested she is in investing if she actually texts me, because she really wanted to learn more about investing, but we're going to see. That just showed me in general, people really care. And it looks like, you know, more and more people are trying to understand the markets as well. Now, one thing we'll leave off on is Figure. They just posted a new video of their robot doing some laundry. I'm actually seeing this for the first time. I saw they posted it a couple hours ago, but I haven't watched it yet. So this is their latest video of the robot doing some cool stuff.
Hey, Figure, can you fold these towels for me?
Sure thing. I'll get right on that.
Is that a British accent? I think they gave it a British accent. All right, so there you go. It's trying to legit fold the laundry here. It's not perfect, as you can see, which is good. You can tell this is like a real video. There you go. That's a towel that's folded. I mean, that's just cool, bro. It's just cool to see this happen, even if it's not, you know, faster than a human yet. Better than me. Yeah, it's probably better than me. I think I learned how to fold laundry when I was in 2nd grade, bro. My mom hasn't done my laundry in like 20 years, bro. She taught me how to do laundry when I was really young. I mean, it's cool, dude. It's doing its own thing. Like, and the more it does it, the better and better it's going to get. And you can see it's unedited because it's not perfect. It's like, but it's putting the towel away. It's trying to get the corners to be lined up. It is super slow in this first iteration. I think if Figure went public, their valuation would be wild, bro. If freaking Figma can get 80 billion. Now, granted, I don't think Figma's going to go public anytime soon, but if they did, I think this would be wild. The amount of compute the robot is doing per second makes me adore how computationally fast the human brain is. Yeah. To try to replicate human behavior is not easy. this thing is trying to do it. Yeah, while it's doing this, you could be playing with your kids or doing something else with your life, right? That is the promise of these robots. That's pretty wild, bro. Now, what point does the robot develop consciousness and says, I don't want to keep folding your stupid laundry, and fights back? That is the real question. Don't know when that happens, but I don't think there is a 0% chance that it could happen. But I mean, dude, it's just wild. Like, if that really becomes a reality, and that we know it's going to get better and better and better. So if there is a world where a robot actually can do your laundry and all the other tasks in life and opens up more productivity for you to do other things, I mean, that could be, you know, beneficial for society, margins, productivity, all that stuff, obviously for GDP growth as well. All right, that's it for me. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow on the Market Open, and we will keep going from there. And that is pretty much it for today. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow morning on Market Open. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.